Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Saturday Night Fights, brought to you by the Armchair Dragoon. Sean Connery is very happy to have you here. I am very happy to have you here. We are going back to 1809. Yeah, I know, 1809. What the heck is with you in 1809? It's a long, complex story. It is likely something psychological that I really can't account for. But that doesn't matter because I'm glad to be there. And to play games. I'm tweeting right now, so I'm chatting to cover all my tweeting behavior. But I'm also going over to a Facebook page, which I don't usually do because, frankly, it just doesn't. Ooh, look at that. That's nice on Facebook. Because usually we don't engage the Facebook community, but this is an exception. This is an exception. And that is because we are continuing. This is part 2 of our 1809 et sans Resultat. There we go. 3rd edition learning game with the author, David Ensness. Good evening, sir.
Hello.
And as you can see, now we got figures up all over the table. We got guys going back and forth and all these other things. But we do want to go around the table and remind everybody who is who. We have once again, unsurprisingly, Dalinor's Marshal Jean Lan. Good evening.
Vive l'Empereur.
Oh, there. Ooh, very good. Yeah, showing your loyalty there. Commanding the horse, basically an entire division of horse running all over the place. We have Mike OJ's dad. Good evening.
Vive la France.
Man, that didn't come off his lips very graciously, did it? It was. I think he resented that. I think that was resentment.
That's not cool.
That was resentment.
I had a frog stuck in my throat. Sorry.
See, that was a joke right there. We saw what you did. Stepping in, Achilles, our guy Achilles, is apparently somewhere in the South Pacific cruising, which I have thoughts
Alaska.
About. Is that where he's headed?
Yeah, it's Alaska. South
okay.
Pacific's in October.
Okay, but he said it was going under the Golden Gate, so clearly he's heading that way.
Yeah.
You're not going to get to Alaska over land that way. So,
cruise.
There, so he's cruising up there and stepping into his place to command the great Marshal Davout. We have none other than our own chronologist. Good evening.
Good evening.
Over here on the side of the Austrians, we have our friend Daniel Moreno. Good evening.
Good evening, and I brought my Austrian dictionary.
Oh, nice. There's now an Austrian. I don't know what that's going to do. We're going to find out. We also, I suppose since we're right here, look, we have new markers, huh? New objective markers. Just talking to my wife about them. We're going to experiment a little bit. They are flippable, so yeah. Nice. And then finally over here, last and certainly not least, with no fewer, I think we figured this out, that this was 3 miles worth of Austrians. Yeah, 3 miles worth of Austrians marching on the board. We have Velker. Good evening.
Guten Tag.
Good. Oh, nice. Guten Abend. But that was still well put. Wie geht's Ihnen?
Bien.
Oh, boy.
Gut.
Gut. Alles gut. Los. Well, so we were into turn 6. Not that turns really matter all that much in a sans resultat in a non-scenario situation such as we are. So we're going to continue our fighting behaviors. I don't think I've got anything else to say. So, David, why don't you? The chronologist has seen a little bit, has read a little bit, but he's going to creak into place a little bit. So we're going to be very patient with him. But everybody else, you can put your foot right in their backside and drive them through the turn sequence.
Wonderful. And so, couple reminders going out to everybody. ESR Napoleonics tends to be a very maneuver-heavy game. That's it's a command and control system. It's a maneuver-focused system, and so last week was lots and lots and lots of maneuver and a little bit of skirmishing back and forth, but lots and lots of jockeying on the battlefield. And so now we've kind of hit our point of contact and are connected mostly across the field. I screwed up a measurement last week. Right at the beginning, we talked about scale because we were playing this at an inch is 75 yards. So a mile is 2 feet. And at some point towards the front end of it, the first time that how far back does your Reformation area have to be? I told somebody 18 inches. And it's not. It's 12. And I believe that they're all correct on the tabletop on here, but if somebody's watching this again this week and watched it last week and went, hey, that didn't make any sense, you got that wrong. You're right, I got that wrong. So with that, we are on top of the turn, correct?
Yes.
Does anybody... I remember nothing of last week because I don't believe in chronological time.
Yeah.
So, do we have any pending orders is my question for everybody. And that's going to be a little bit hard for a chronologist, I suppose, to answer. Everybody else we can
What you're
claim that they
looking
should
for.
remember.
What you're looking for is one of these suckers flipped on the other side. Because
Yeah,
you can
I have.
They're like
I have
that.
one.
Where's that? Where's yours?
Oh, over here.
Look at that.
Peter.
See? Look at that. That's why it works. How nice, huh?
Wonderful.
So we can tell that there was an attempt to change that order. Very good. And I thought one fella had a stack of orders that he was waiting for. Is that the guy, Daniel? Because remember, one order was delayed.
Oh.
And I put out a stack of orders, and I think that's what's going on here. This order actually represents the second turn of a 2-turn delay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's. I think that's accurate.
Yep. Yeah, that's.
See, now if
that's what
somebody's
that is.
binge watching this, they're going to be like, I don't know why you guys have to keep up. I mean, it was 4 minutes ago that happened.
Well, with any luck, I'm going to talk my wife into editing this all together so that I'll cut out all my chatty bits at the front end and screwing up and the server crashing, so it'll be even shorter than that, but you go on.
So, since we know that we've got some delays out there and we know we've got some pending orders, according to the quick reference guide, which anybody watching can find at the wargamingcompany.com/downloads, the first step of our turn is activate orders. So you should reduce that delay. And if that's the last delay marker, then that order goes active right now. You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to roll for anything. You already rolled. That's what got you here. Mm-hmm. And then, did we have any other pending ones?
I did not see any, to tell you the truth.
I don't see any on the field. Wonderful. So for Chrono, you issue an order now as the second step of the turn. Orders are persistent, so anything they had previously activated is still in effect until something causes it not to be. First step of the turn is activate. Second step of the turn is issue. So there is an innate 1-turn delay in choosing to activate things that you've previously issued.
And I will tell you, and I will tell you, Chrono, your current order. Peak.
Move.
Right. That's for Morand, and that's your objective right here. If that's not it, it's this one.
Oh.
Oh, he had a pending.
Yeah, he had a pending, right. So it.
So he actually needs to roll.
Oh, yes, he does. Yes, well, yeah, that's true. Yep.
So, excellent. So last week, on the last turn, this one way over here was issued. Your current one, for at least one more moment, is this one right next to the road, sort of center of table. If you wish to activate that far one that's pending, you would roll for it now.
I will roll for it then.
Wonderful.
2d6?
2d6, you are, if you've got your quick reference guide up, it is the command test in the bottom left corner. It is a blue section.
I see it.
And for the purpose of activating this objective, where is Davu's figure on the table? Has anybody got eyes on him? He's outside of threat. Wonderful. So you effectively are doubling his command rating because it is the sum of the issuer, which is him, and the target, which is him.
So
and then there are some minuses for things such as being inside the enemy threat zone, but he is not. And you need a 7 or better to pass, and I believe that his rating is a 3.
Yes.
Okay.
So he can't fail.
So you literally can't fail.
So it's automatic.
So
yes.
I'll roll anyway for the sake of rolling.
Just for the record, we are hearing from Achilles in the chat. He is watching his phone with a terrible connection somewhere off the coast of Oregon, heading north, sneaking in while his wife is getting a spa treatment.
Nice.
Those are our people. That's what we do.
Well, to be fair though, to Achilles, this is his equivalent of a spa treatment,
Yeah.
and it's probably cheaper.
It's guaranteed it's cheaper. But
I don't know about
he's
that.
paying
What
Wi-Fi on a boat. It's probably a lot more expensive.
the spot treatment that his wife chose might be the economy choice compared to the internet access from the cruise ship.
That's
true.
Yeah, you may not be wrong there. We salute you, sir. We hope you're having a good time, no matter what, even though it's a cruise ship, which is a little bit weird. But anyway, so just wanted to give him a shout out. Carry on, please. We have an activated order from 3 Corps.
Wonderful. So that objective is active. The Austrians had their delayed directive go active, and there weren't any other pending ones, correct?
Not that we've seen.
Correct.
Wonderful. So our next step of the turn is issue orders. So if there are any orders that you have active right now, and you say, I want to be doing something else in the near future, now is when you put out the new one. You'll roll for it at soonest next turn.
I want to issue an order.
Yeah, I just issued one. Doo-doo.
Velker wants to put one out. All right, roll one out. You know where it goes.
So what is the essential difference between an attack order and a move order?
This is great.
So, everything, we'll give you a couple little bits of info because you're going to need to be doing it momentarily. When you move the regulating unit. So you choose any unit each time you move. So for instance, Moran's guys here, you could choose that battalion. That stand is a unit.
Right.
And you would move it according to the orders. And then everybody else has to remain cohesive with them, which is a distance in this ground scale of 3 inches. It's 225 yards.
Okay.
So the guys in this ployed column back here all have to stay in that ployed column until they roll to deploy. The guys ahead of Morand, he marks the head of the column. The guys ahead of Morand are deployed, and they get to be arranged however the heck you want, so long as you have movement to get there. But everybody has to stay cohesive. So if you choose the 2nd Battalion of the 4th Leger, if I read that correctly, if you choose that as your regulating unit, you move it according to that directive. And then the other 2 battalions beside it and the one behind it and the column behind that all move so that everybody is tethered back, no one being more than 3 inches from someone else.
Okay.
So your question, on a move, you may stop. Well, there's a handful of things. One is you have to take the most direct route to your objective, which is somewhere over this direction off my screen a little bit. There we go.
Yeah.
But on a move, you're allowed to take a road instead, or follow some other terrain feature that guides you closer, such as this river or stream, such as an elevation. And so you can take a less direct option so long as one of those is available. It also allows you to avoid bad terrain. It does require you to halt if you are threatened by the enemy. So anytime you enter the threat zone of the enemy, you stop. You may stop if you threaten the enemy. So if you were to, say, drop some artillery batteries here at the start of the turn, because you have an option for that momentarily, and these Austrians were in your threat zone of the artillery, now, on your move directive, you don't have to go farther forward. You can. You don't have to. Instead, if you march up here to within skirmish range of these Austrians, you have to stop as soon as they start shooting at you.
Okay.
On attack, you cannot choose to follow a road. You cannot choose to avoid bad terrain. You cannot choose to follow other guiding terrain features. You must make a beeline directly at the objective, and you must threaten any enemy that intervenes.
Okay.
They answer your question.
It does.
Wonderful.
So I have no order changes at this point then.
Wonderful. Anybody else that hasn't marked any order changes, please do so.
LJ message sent to you.
And with that, we'll be moving on to leader actions. The most popular leader action is always either committing or displacing artillery. So does anybody have any committed artillery that they want to limber up? Or does anybody have any artillery that is in reserve that they want to commit to action?
I have a question regarding recalling an asset. Is that also artillery?
Yes.
And that recalls it to the formation area?
The Reformation area,
Oh,
yes.
Reformation area? Okay,
Correct.
and that gives you -1 fatigue, right?
If the artillery is threatened at the time you pull it out.
Oh.
If it is not under threat, it does not reduce your fatigue to pull it back.
And displace just limbers it. If I commit the following turn, do I unlimber it where I want to commit it?
So displace limbers it in place. It's still committed.
Gotcha.
It's just limbered and allowed to move. Recall brings it back to the Reformation area, and the following turn you could roll to commit it again.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yes.
Wonderful. So does anybody have any desire to do any leader actions, such as displace artillery?
Yes, I want to displace my artillery.
Excellent. Yours, you talking this battery here?
Correct.
Wonderful. So how much fatigue does that, well, we're looking at the command test table in the bottom left-hand corner of the quick reference guide on the front page. We've got your command rating, right? So you are a
1.
And your subordinate that you're targeting running that formation is?
Oh, my force commander's a 2, and then my subordinate's a 1.
Okay, so you're a net 3.
Right.
And you're within a mile of him. Sure looks like. Yep.
Yes.
So no penalty there. He is under threat.
So minus
-2, so you're just a 1. Fatigue to cohesion ratio for that formation. How much fatigue has it got?
2.
Oh, so it's got tons of cohesion. It's nowhere near 25%, which is when the first penalty kicks in. So yeah, you're a +1.
All right, rolling. Of course not.
Oh.
Okay.
Only needed a 6. Okay, and you do leader actions until one fails. So that's the only one for the Austrian left. Any others?
I have nothing, so.
Nothing.
Wonderful. Then we are on to movement. The first step is threat assessment. So ranged threat. Skirmishing and artillery go off. Skirmishing range is 6 inches and artillery is a foot.
Ooh.
And the arcs for both are 45 degrees.
Ooh.
I don't think Kellerman can do any more damage to Lang, correct? Over here in the center.
Oh, correct. The Cav has a threat range of 0. It is only good at contact.
The artillery.
He's talking the artillery.
Oh, the artillery hitting Kellerman. No, they have to have the width of their base. So while you have the arc, you don't have the lane of fire.
And he's at range, slightly.
But you will get you
Well,
will
he's
have a
talking-
bunch of skirmishers going
David,
in
he's
out.
talking about this one.
Oh yeah. You will have a bunch of skirmishers going in and out.
Yeah, this dude.
Oh,
right
way
here.
over there.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm looking.
I was looking for your yellow hand and I didn't see it.
Yes.
OJ's point is that because this is the gun that it is, it's got a threat of 2. It can't knock up the fatigue any higher than it is.
That is correct. Yes. Sorry.
However,
Not paying attention.
I think over here on the right,
Yes, sir. We
That's-
have
that's-
threats back
Yeah.
and forth.
Then we've got a bunch from skirmishers.
so this is going to be my first question as I was surveying the battlefield over the week. What do we do with this town? Because this is a described town area.
Yep.
I've put the buildings roughly at the limits of the town. If I were to expose the map, you'd see that it's almost like this. It's a square.
So, threat. Well, first of all, let's cover a handful of unnuanced, straightforward things.
Sure.
And that is these infantry battalions each have to threaten whoever is closest and most directly an arc. So this division of Austrians is going to be splitting its threat between St. Hilaire's division on their right and Marizal's cavalry division on the left.
Yes.
And they will get dice against each target. So the first question is, how many threat points do the Austrians have going against the Cav? Probably at least probably only 2 battalions.
Yeah.
Yeah, just 2.
Because
There.
this one actually goes to the
Mm-hmm.
to St. Hilaire, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Looks like 2 each.
Wonderful. And then are the other 2 behind the village? Are they within range? Is that 6? Yeah, that's under 6. Wonderful. So threat through the village, we're not very concerned about. If the threat, and I'm looking to see if I'm wrong because authors make stuff up all the time. But,
See, you remember he said that. All the grief I got on Thursday.
I'll say, where do you think you learned it from?
threat.
And you can take that either way.
Threat versus a built-up area or dense terrain is reduced under a handful of conditions, but the French are not in the built-up area. So the threat is not versus the built-up area.
Okay,
So the built-up area will have no effect on this.
Oh, okay, very good.
Because the Austrians are outside of it, correct?
Yes.
And the French are outside of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if one of them was in it, the one that was in it would have their threat reduced, per the quick reference guide, unless that unit had a trait such as lights, which ignore it. Because they ignore dense terrain. Yeah, they ignore dense terrain. And built up areas. Yeah. Wonderful. So what have we got for the Austrian threat going at each of the 2 French formations?
So it looks like I have
half and half.
2,
Yeah.
because you get the 2 back units too, right? So
No, they do need, in Series 3, they do need a
line of
clear
sight.
lane.
Okay, so that's 1 each then.
I think it's half.
Right, half times 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's,
Half and
it's,
half
It's 1 and
is
1.
half and half is
Yeah.
1. But then the other one, these are in range,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have 2 going against St. Hilaire, 1 going against the Cav. Does the division commander provide any benefit to range threat? Does he have a range
does
threat
not.
bonus for
No.
that range? No. And fatigue is -1. So the threat over here goes to 0, and the threat over here goes to 1, and you roll 1 6-sider for each.
All
One
right.
6-sider going towards Saint Hilaire +1, 1 6-sider going towards the Cav +0.
Okay, so
Does
the
that
cap-
make sense to everybody?
It does. To me, anyway.
You get, if you look at the top of the Quick Reference Guide's threat assessment table, you get 1d6 per target, and then you get 1d6 for every 9 threat against that target.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
All right, why is it half?
Middle range.
Oh, the
bracket.
value of the Austrian threat at
Right.
450 yards is a half point.
Oh, okay. I see the slashes. Never mind. Okay, yep. I see the ranges.
At contact, it's going to be like 3.
Yeah. Thank you.
No problem. So, Dan, you want to roll a 6-sider to hit the French Cav?
the cap first.
2. What was our result? 2?
2.
Ooh. 2. And skirmishers alone have to get at least half of the target formation's cohesion in order to cause an assessed result. So the question here is, what is that formation's cohesion at this point? Because it has a bunch of fatigue. They might be there.
6. Well, this is
6. Is
minus
he plus another 1? Yes. So
7.
they're at 7 minus 4.
3.
So they're at 3. So it's enough. They go up to 5.
Ooh, very serious.
Okay, and then for the infantry.
Yep. And then, so this will be 1d6 plus 1.
Great.
No.
Also 2.
I
They
don't
have
think
no
that's enough.
fatigue.
I don't think they're gonna do it. Something tells me.
Yeah, I don't think that is going to even cause the assessed, because they have a bunch of cohesion. The cavalry does have the option to evade, so it can fall back until it is outside of 6 inches of the enemy if it wants, because it can fall back until it's out of threat.
When does it do that? It
That-
does that after it gets shot at?
Correct. It
Got
does that. That is part of the result. That is
Okay.
it was assessed against. It takes 1 fatigue and may evade ranged threat. So all stands that are within the threat zone, which is all of them, may fall back to be outside of it. But it's a choice. It's up to the player.
That'd be you, OJ.
Yeah, might as well fall back.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Let's start with the Reformation and go backward.
Well, they all go back the same distance, right?
Yeah, I just grabbed the
Yeah,
whole.
you
I
can
just
group
grabbed
the
the whole
whole
bus
thing
and back
and-
it up.
Yeah, and how far back do I need to go?
You open the distance up until you are outside of 6.
Sorry about.
So go like 6.5, 6 and
Right there.
0.1, and whatever is convenient.
There you are. That's 6 right there. So you want to go back a bit further.
Just a tiny,
Just a
bit
tiny
more.
bit more.
There you
There
go.
you go.
So when now they have 5 fatigue, when does that become a problem?
When someone touches them,
Okay.
Don't-
they
So keep your little yellow, keep your little purple hand off of them. Get away! Get away! Get away! Go!
you can shoot at them all day, and they will not quit the field. They will not run away. I mean, they'll have the option to back up because cavalry can't evade threat, like we just saw. But in terms of converting to a retreat or a break status or even a withdrawal, somebody has to make contact with them, or they have to make contact with someone.
Yes.
Otherwise, they're just going to sit there very raggedy and tired. So now we've got St. Hilaire's infantry shooting back, right? So we've
Yes.
got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 battalions,
Mhm.
and they are worth
0.5.
Well, 2 of them are worth
point of
1.
Yeah, you've got these Leger worth 3 each.
Yeah, 3 each.
1 each.
No, 3
Should be
each.
3 at contact.
No, it's
You got
they're
those flipped.
your stats
You got those
are plus
flipped.
1, plus 3, plus 1. Would you like me to send you your sheet?
That
Are
crashed.
they really wrong on the download?
No, yeah, this is your.
Oh.
Is that wrong?
Yeah, they should totally be.
Even I assumed when I saw it, I
3.
assumed it was right because they were leger. They're better at shooting than they are at fighting.
Well, but
I assume this should be 013.
they should be 013.
Yeah, that seems more correct.
Hang on a second.
So my total will be 4 then.
Hang on a second.
I'll probably also need to change my leger over here.
I don't know what sheet you're talking about.
Oh, it's like I say. Could I have done it wrong? Yes, that's true. Here, I'm looking at your sheet here.
I don't think you did, Jim. I think you're right.
Oh, I see what I did. Why would you? Okay, I see it. Yeah, it's 013. Yep, I get it. It's
Anyway,
me.
so we got a half point, a half point, a half point, and a half point. So we've got 2,
Plus 2 is
3,
4.
4. And then what is St. Hilaire's
2.
threat rating at that middle bracket? 2?
Mm-hmm.
So that puts them at 6.
Yep.
And then they will get 1 die because they did not hit 9. But it's all going into those Austrians.
Should is be 021 or should it be 012 for St. Hilaire?
His should be, if he's marked as generic, which I believe they is.
Mhm.
Yeah, it should be 021 is the
Oh,
the generic threat stats for the French commanders in the mid-era. So that's correct.
All right, here we go.
10.
10 total.
Nice.
That's a good number.
How much cohesion do the Austrians have? And St. Hilaire had no fatigue coming into this, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so it's a flat 10. The Austrians look like they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
12
8.
plus.
These guys at
Oh.
the back are halves. These Landwehr are half cohesion.
Ah,
It says
so you're at
I know
11?
that number is wrong.
Okay.
So you're at 11. Plus your commander gives you another pip to 12. Your artillery is cohesive with the Reformation area, so you'll get the pip for it. So you're at 13, and you've got 2 fatigue.
Yes.
So you are down to 11. And the French had a net 10, correct?
Correct.
So it's an assessed result. They do not get a multiplier of you. They do not equal you, double you, or triple you. So you will go up 1 more fatigue.
3.
I have
Did that process make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
to me. So you have 2 lights who are shooting a 1 at these cavalry over here.
Oh, I see.
Correct.
Well, it's actually the whole unit, so you know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, these guys can't shoot, so
Right.
No, you're shooting at the whole unit, Chrono.
oh, this whole division.
Yeah, that
right
whole
here.
division is getting
Yes.
shot at.
Okay. So I've just got the 2.
You've got the 2 points plus the threat value of Gudon, which it looks like his is a 2, so you're at 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then plus a 6-sider.
All right. Let me.
And this one actually matters. You want this to be high because their cohesion is only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Got a 7. Not quite.
Not quite.
Are these guys firing
So
back here?
you
too?
will.
Yeah, but they're
The ones that are. The ones that are ployed do not give cohesion.
Okay.
Only the deployed ones give cohesion.
So that's just
So-
that's an assess.
Assessed.
Yep, 1 fatigue on them, and those cavalry stands that are threatened may choose to evade if they want.
Yes.
I don't know that you want them to, but you can.
I do. Actually. And I can evade. Do I have to evade straight back, or can I evade to my flank?
The evasion, I believe, has to be. directly away. As directly away from all threat as possible. So it's going to be by the shortest possible route.
And through,
So
can I go through my own troops?
you may.
And what's the distance I evade up to?
You have
Just out
to
of-
get
just out of range.
outside of 6. Yes. You just have to get outside of 6. It's not how far you go, it is where you end up.
Works.
Wonderful.
And I don't think there's any threat assessment on this side because we're at range, they're at range, and this gun can't do anymore.
Correct. And there was nothing coming into Gudon's division because the Cav only threatened a con.
And just so you know, Krona, I was actually commanding both sets of cavalry.
Yeah, I remember
Okay.
that much. So
Okay.
I was speaking out loud. Sorry.
No problem.
Wonderful. Then I believe that we are done with the threat assessment for the movement phase. We are on to conversions. So for Chrono, there is a list of them in the quick reference guide, handily labeled conversions. But generally speaking, things convert when they reach their force's objective, or cavalry can convert if it has a target, although these over here probably really don't want to do that with how fatigued they are. Support can convert to attack or defend. And that's kind of the ones that would have an option here right now.
I don't think any of mine can convert because they're not threatened and they're both on move.
Correct. And they haven't reached, they're not threatened, they haven't reached their destinations.
Yep.
So we are on to regular moves. Everybody moves according to their orders.
Attacks first.
Yes.
I'm sorry, who first?
Attack.
Attack.
Ah.
Any formation on an attack directive goes before anybody else. So who is on an active attack directive?
My Austrians, both my divisions.
These and these?
Yes.
Wonderful. What are the French opposing the two of them?
These guys are on move.
Move order.
Okay, wonderful. Then we don't have to worry about
Sorry,
prorating
defend.
any
Yeah, these
conflict.
boys here are on defend orders.
I'm sorry, defend.
Okay.
They're on defend orders.
That's fine. It's a second priority, third priority, not second. Any withdrawals would go first, but I don't believe we have anything on withdrawal.
These guys here.
OJ's on a withdrawal order.
Are they still on withdrawal?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Then they back up.
How far?
They move at half, and they have to keep moving away from enemy threat until they are outside of it. So they are outside of it now.
Yes.
Actually, they're outside of it now because they evaded.
Yes.
They would convert to defend during that conversion step.
Got it.
So they are no longer on withdrawal. They
Sort
are
of
on
what I
convert.
figured.
They are on defend.
Gotta remember how to fix that.
I have limbers all over the place.
You're supposed to. You are lousy with limbers.
So these two that are in the village, kind of, can they move up and contact the French, even though that building's there?
So they hit the village last turn, correct?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And halted. So this turn they can move through it paying double. And when they exit it, they will halt, but they'll hit the French at the same moment they exit it, right? Or before.
Right.
The only question that I would ask you is, and I don't know the right answer looking at how this is going to lay out, do you want to hit those French? Because remember, it's your regulating unit has to move the threat in the enemy. The rest of it has to stay cohesive and is effectively voluntary. So you can take those in, their cohesion is going to drop in the village. If you don't take them in, you can assume that these 2 battalions of St. Hilaire's stuff, they could come into the village in order to hit you, in order to ratchet up the threat against you. So I don't know which is worse. It's a gamble. Does that make sense?
So they enter once they enter the village, they lose cohesion with the rest of the division.
Their cohesion is the cohesion of those stands is reduced, so it goes down to half, I believe.
Yep.
It uses the second. Yeah, those are the cohesion numbers that were off. It should be half instead of 1.5.
I'm going through and fixing all that.
They'll get it in post.
Right.
I used to know a guy who worked in film, and apparently they fix everything in post,
They clean it
so you
in
don't have
post.
to worry about it.
Those guys are all corrected. And that's good.
They're like,
So
we
you don't-
cast
you
the
don't
wrong
actually
actor. That's
Did I
fine.
get-
We'll fix it in post.
Did I get Landwehr stats from you, David? Because you don't have
No.
it in the download sheet. Okay.
No, you made up Landvar
I
stuff.
made up Landwehr stats. Yep. I think I based them in your old units. Is what I did.
Their cohesion says
This should
one
be
and a half
It's point.
and
It's
one and a
actually
quarter?
should be 0.5 and a quarter.
okay, that would make more sense.
Can you split your attacks like that?
Yeah, you can hit as much as you
No,
wish.
because he has these 2 guys over here. If he has to stay cohesive. Oh, okay.
He has to stay cohesive, but his cohesive distance is 3 inches.
Okay.
So he has a lot outside of his regulating unit. He has a fair amount of latitude.
So I'm a little bit confused about the 2 in the village.
As far as what's the best option.
What's my best option? If I sit in the town and I'm within 3, I'm still not in cohesion with the rest of the division, right?
So right now they're cohesive, so they're each worth a point, right? If you take them into the village, the 2 of them together will be worth 1 point.
It's just that cohesion points themselves go down, Daniel.
Yeah, even though if I go into contact, my threat is higher.
Correct. So you'll put, assuming you can get both of them against St. Hilaire, which it looks like you can put one there and one right next door. You'll add another 6 threat against the French, which is great.
But I drop a cohesion.
You'll lose 1 point of cohesion.
Yeah, I think it's worth it.
So the question is really, do you want to trade 6 offensive points for 1 defensive point?
No. Or yes. So now I have to move my reformation up.
Correct. To a foot. There you go.
Okay.
And then these guys are also on attack.
Yes.
And so the regulating unit, whichever one you pick again, you can choose whichever stand you want to be your regulating unit. But it has to move directly at... This is your objective?
Yes.
Okay. It has to move directly at that, and it has to threaten any enemy that is in the way.
It's open terrain, right? 16-inch move?
It's got to be shorter than 16.
Nope, 16 for infantry and foot.
Is it
For open
16
terrain.
infantry deployed?
And deployed status, yes.
Yep, you're right. I'm very, very used to playing at 1 inch is 150 yards, so I'm like, wait a minute, double digits on a deployed move? I don't understand.
Just the regulating unit has to go towards the objective, right?
That is correct. Everybody else just has to be cohesive with that one. And remember, facing is all up to you.
Cavalry is 20 inches.
Cavalry is... Yes.
Hey, John. Phil. And Has. Evening, gents.
Oh, never mind.
And your intention was for these infantry units to go to contact with the cav, right?
Yes.
Okay. And this guy to go to contact with the cav, right?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. They're separated by just a tiny bit, and it probably won't make any difference. I just wanted to make sure what was your intention.
Okay, my attacking units have moved.
Wonderful.
Who's he supporting? I think that matters, right?
Yeah.
Oh yes, support move when whoever they're supporting moves.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So those move following whichever unit they're in support of. They have to stay within 900 yards of it. And since that's going on way back of the lines, everyone else can probably conduct their moves.
Okay. So I have a question right away. Can I apparently these guys up in my grill? So how I start doing these guys deployed?
Yeah. Okay, so the units that are touched are frozen.
Yes, I figured.
Those are easy. They're just where they are. The column here may move, but it has to stay cohesive with them.
Okay. But they
Right?
still
So it can't go, and it's kind of wedged in, right? You've got your friendly cavalry on your left, you've got your own friendly infantry on the right, and then you've got enemy to the front of you. So you've got a pretty narrow space to deal in. But you can move that column.
Okay.
After you move it, you can deploy units out of it, and it's a die roll how many you will get.
But that's after move though.
Yep. First you move the whole column, then you will roll to see how many you get out of it.
I mean,
And when they move out of it,
but
what's that?
column's basically there, so. But
Well, the only question would be, do you want to bring the column's head this direction or bring the column head this direction? Because when you roll to deploy, the units that step out may go to contact with the enemy.
I think at this point, I want to go right to close this gap because there's a whole division trying to come down the road here.
There is.
Unless because this guy is here is on the fan, so he's not going to be able to cover that. This guy back here won't get up to it.
Yeah, he won't get up there in time.
So I think I know what I'm doing. So I basically just take the head of the column and put him like here.
Correct. And then the rest of the column closes up.
See, Chrono cares that things are aesthetic.
Do.
Know what's wrong with all the rest of y'all.
Hey.
We've
Once
had to deal with
movement is-
somebody making up rules a lot longer than he
When
has.
I'm sorry, and I forgot from last week. When do we move our overall force commander?
During this movement step.
Okay, and they have to be outside of threat. It has to be 6 inches away from the infantry, right?
Correct.
Thank you.
And I can't do anything with you on my cavalry units, correct? Because the ones on defend, or they're actually both on defend, so there's not really anything for them to do. Is that correct?
You could. I mean, so these here, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
probably only one. Well, probably both of them. Could go and touch this one. You could swing this one forward to touch this one if you wanted.
So
is that
what,
gonna be
what
an
would
issue,
be...
though?
You could change the facing of these others. You don't care about tactical flank, so you don't care whether the infantry are skirmishing into the flank of you or skirmishing in the front of you. It's the same. The thing is that if you move up there, you're going to probably be within 6 of those infantry. So the next, at the start of movement next turn, when they skirmish you, you'll get hit by them.
Right.
Now that all depends on where you're standing after the combat is done, right? Do you end up falling back? Does he end up falling back? There's a bunch of unknowns.
Is there any reason he couldn't take these guys and just pull this guy and just stick them around this side?
These here.
Yeah, those two in the back.
You can go to contact with them. You can't. Actually, on defend, I take that back. I believe the only one that he can do it with is this one here, because you can move units that are on defend to contact with the enemy, but there is both a range and an arc limitation, I believe. Am I wrong?
I got nothing.
I'm wrong.
I have another
Yeah,
question.
you can.
We got to
move
sort
those
this
in
one first,
there.
Daniels. So
You can move. Looking at the defend directive. They don't have any ranger arc. They have to stay cohesive. So yes, you could take these around and threaten this, and you could take these around and threaten this.
could he, and I'm not saying he would want to, I think there's a lot of problems with doing it. You don't want to make contact, Mike. Just make sure you're making contact.
Yeah.
But could he hypothetically, not that he would want to, could he drive this Dragoon into this guy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was part of my question. Is it one-on-one, stand per stand, or can you wrap around?
No. It is all incoming threat against one formation. So this whole divisional body is going to have all of the threat coming in from all sources tallied against its cohesion.
Right.
Even though they're ployed.
But so there's, in this particular case, there's no difference between hitting these cav and hitting this infantry because they're the same form.
I get that, but when you talk about this situation, you're saying it's these four plus all these?
And these guys?
Well, they're the cohesion of these is nothing, right? Because they're ployed.
Okay.
But what I'm saying, but some of them are gonna deploy after movement.
Yeah. So the deployed guys
This
don't
whole
count,
division is going to add up its cohesion, and there's going to be all the threat coming in from all French sources against it.
It's going to be nasty. Okay.
Yeah.
Should we let the Austrians do one of their moves because we've done one of our moves and we're
Well,
defense now?
can I finish mine first?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my question: is on the math side of this, right? My threat's a +3 for my dragoons, and his is a +2. Is that correct?
Sure.
So right
and
now,
it's threat versus cohesion, not threat versus threat.
Okay, so is it his threat against my cohesion, or it goes both ways?
It goes both ways. Yeah.
It goes both ways, and simultaneous results.
So his cohesion's a +1. So right now, I'm just trying to make sure I understand this, right? His cohesion's a total of 3. Is that
No,
right?
Plus
no,
he's
that's
got-
the
No,
problem.
you
You got to
get-
roll in all these Dieter guys, Mike.
That's
Yeah,
right.
you get added in with Chronos.
This is going to be
Atta-
one huge fight.
Yeah,
Right.
all
So-
of these, like all of
Okay,
these,
I
plus
guess-
fight guys.
And that's what I'm
get
trying to
the-
figure out, though, is if I want to bring these other 2 dragoons over into the fight. That's what I'm trying to figure
Mhm.
out, because it will put them within 6 inches of Lang over here on the other side of the river. That's what I'm trying
Sure.
to
So
figure out.
your decision point is, you know that he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points, 8 points of cohesion, minus his 1 fatigue. So he's got 7 points of cohesion, plus however many stands he gets deployed out, right?
You're already throwing 12 at
And
him.
you-
Right here.
You've got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 going
whatever.
into him.
Well, these guys,
Plus-
if you want, oh yeah, plus whatever I throw out here.
You could add another 1 or 2. Probably 1, because you really don't want to take any of your dragons into the stream. So you could add another 3 points over there, and you could add another 3, maybe 6 points over here.
What do you get?
Depending on how the space lays out, I think you could probably get 2 in there. So that'll put you at what?
A lot.
24 to 27 points plus your commanders, which will probably give you another couple pips plus dice. So that'll put you somewhere in the 30s if you do commit those. And you know that he is 7 plus however many he gets out in his deployment. But it's multiples that count, right? So 21 and points of threat and 24 points of threat are the same against 7. 21 and 28 matter.
Keep coming in.
Yeah, that goes back to my question. Since this third battalion here, could I
Yeah.
have? Is he considered in contact or no? Does he have to like wrap around?
He should be touching if he wants to be threatening.
Yeah.
So the question is, hey, Daniel, did you mean for this guy to make
Right.
contact?
Yeah, essentially.
Well, he would have gotten to go first no matter what, so we'll clear Mike out of there
Right.
for a second.
And who he touches, you know.
Yeah, it
from
doesn't
a-
matter.
From an
Then
order
Mike just
standpoint,
instead of
you're
that,
completely
Mike does
correct.
this.
Yeah,
Correct.
from Mike's perspective, it doesn't matter who he touches because you're all one giant division.
Right.
Yes.
Matters to me because he's going to be shooting up my boys. But
Well,
Yes.
assuming he's standing there, which I don't. We'll see.
anyway,
And then my
Okay,
other
so
cavalry-
we got
And my other cavalry can't. Oh no, never mind. We'll come back to them after everybody else starts wrapping things up. That's fine.
yeah, Kyle say I moved a guy and OJ moved a guy, Mike moved a guy. So I think
it is simultaneous movement when you're on the same priority. So the priorities are withdrawals, retreats, and breaks. We had none of those. Then we had attacks. That was these 2 Austrians. And then we have everybody else. So the defenders, which is this formation and this formation, and this formation, and the moves, which are this one and this one. The only question I have is if Valkyr is moving anybody, because if Valkyr is moving someone, then it needs to be prorated over on the Austrian right flank. If he's anyone in the front, I should say. If he's not moving anybody, then the French can just move all their stuff.
what is your attitude on firing out of rivers?
Yeah.
It doesn't make a difference.
Okay,
So that was a Columbine and Square quiz, right?
No, well, no. Actually,
Yes,
that's a tradition of most of the rules we play, where there'd be Shaco, Blucher, LaSalle. You either can't, or it's a significant penalty.
I know that from column, line, and square.
Sure.
And the joke is you can't shoot if your feet are wet. but no, we don't care.
It would seem Velker is determined to defend the ridge at the moment.
These guys just come all the way up.
That is not an unwise position by Velker.
And so, if I were to move this guy over here,
Mhm.
these guys still be connected by electricity?
Yes.
They're a part of Lang. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but are all these guys aren't deployed though, so they gotta stay in column behind him.
Oh yeah, you got to deploy those, dude.
You do have to stay in column, but they
Yeah,
can move
that's
up.
what we forgot. Those guys got to come back and deploy later in the turn. That's these guys too.
These two.
Oh, were they?
Those they already were. Okay.
Those two. Those two, however, were not.
Yeah. Okay. And then put your leader right in front of him. He's the cork in the bottle.
Sorry, I'm rearranging my move slightly.
Mm-hmm.
We got a million yards to move on the road, so. Although, how much movement do they usually get when they deploy? Just so I can sort of plan this a little bit.
3 inches.
3 inches. So if these guys come up here, they can get up to there maybe.
And since that part of that unit's deployed, you use the
They
deployed
all move.
inches.
Yeah.
Just to let
They
you know.
all move at the deployed rate once anyone is deployed.
Not as fast.
If it's
16 inches.
Oh, that's plenty.
I have a ton of movement there, but.
Well, just so you know, Chrono, I wasn't sure if you knew or not.
I was just double checking. I'm just trying to figure out how I want to do about doing this. Yeah, we'll call that good, probably. I'm not sure I can actually get them online effectively anyway.
We have a Mike L in the chat, David, saying he loves the game, he greets you, and he's looking forward to the plastic line and the next campaign books.
Wonderful. I spent half my day working on proofing plastic sculpts today.
Ah.
So can
I spent the other
probably-
half splitting firewood.
What are you planning for a long winter in the north?
No, we had 2 trees taken down last year, and I didn't get all of it split before there was snow on the ground. And hauling around my buddy's log splitter in the yard is not fun in the snow.
I dare say.
So it sat there until now, and then I saw him the other night, and he says, "Hey, at some point I want my log splitter back." And I went, "Oh, I should split more firewood first."
Phil, you have not missed Velker charges. We are pending. Velker charges are pending.
But the other half of the day was spent looking at proofs of new 10 millimeter troops.
They could also have been spent updating the 1809 scenario book. I'm just saying.
I gotta tell you, we feel loved, because anytime that we announce that anything is closer to release or being released,
Yeah, we want the
or
other thing.
have you, then somebody would go, "Oh, but I thought it was one of the other cool things that you did."
But I thought it was the Waterloo campaign.
Yeah, exactly.
We haven't gotten anybody asking that for a while now. I think maybe people.
No Prussian Landwehr? What?
Opelchene.
Opelchania?
Hey,
For the
Stick to
record,
Opelchania.
for the record, that actually that's the book I got. It's sitting in my basket because I had to ask David a question. That Master of the World, Part 1 of the 1812 campaign, that's ready to go. So Opelchenia, they're there, kids. So
There's
Oh, wait a minute. I'm French
boat
cavalry this time.
load of
Never
them
mind.
too. In Borodino.
yeah,
I am
Cosmetics.
done with the French left. So.
okay.
Yeah, I really can't wait to paint those miniatures when they come out.
So over here on the right with Morlot's cavalry, I probably want to be able to bring these guys up and around too, don't I? Get as many bases into contact as I can.
Yeah, since you are contacted, it would probably be wise. Now, the support question is,
Well,
you may want to have
sorry,
somebody
let me-
supporting because you're probably going to suffer some combat losses, and you know that they're going to fall on the stands that are unsupported.
Sure. I take it, Dan, that you meant to be in contact, right? They're not quite.
Oh yeah, I
touching,
did.
but-
I did.
No, I'm good with it. I just wanted to make sure that was the intent before I did a bunch of stuff here. So slap my hand if I do anything wrong
And
here.
just so you understand what David was saying, OJ.
Yeah.
Stands are going to die, right?
Sure.
This is how stands die. If stands die, the stands that are unsupported die before those that are supported.
Gotcha.
So it's all the same sauce, is what I'm saying. But this guy's
Some are going to fall back, some are going to just run, but you have some degree of control over which ones that fate is going to fall on by where you keep your line strengthened by supporting it.
It's kind of a trade-off, though, right? Do you bring the threat points up to contribute to the overall fight, or do you not do that? And
for real.
And there is a valid argument to that, because the guy who takes the worst assessment has to apply his losses first.
Okay. I guess that's what I'm kind of thinking.
You can end up in a situation where you go, all right, I'm going to try and overpower him, because if I win by enough, then his guys will run and mine won't have anyone to run from.
Right. So, Ron, if you have any words of wisdom, let me know. But
what?
I mean,
well, you guys remember, the more that you're adding, because this is all one unit, so you're adding to mine.
Yeah,
right. I know, and that's what I was saying. Right? Is
I like big.
Am I willing to sacrifice some stands?
Yes.
And that's what I figured. I'm good with that. I just
infantry is always
because if
willing
I
to
don't, I'm going to lose
cavalry.
some stands anyways. So I might as well get three more of my stands into the fight and get 6 more points.
Yeah.
To contribute to the fight.
We can see what
8 more
happens.
points.
Yeah, we can see what happens.
Yeah, I was gonna say we haven't actually seen a melee yet, so
You haven't seen a big old.
Yeah, so I mean, this is the strategy of this one. We're still learning, so we might as well see what happens.
Yep.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm bringing 8 more points into the fight by doing it this way. So.
Right.
Jim asked me what victory conditions should be when we decided that we were going to make this a meeting engagement so that people could play with all the maneuver. And I said, well, when we run intro games at conventions, the victory conditions for the game that we tell people are do dumb things, see what happens.
Sweet,
right.
that works under for us.
Yeah. Fool around and find out.
Yes.
On the other hand, guys, just take a moment. You know how much I care about aesthetics. Get down here behind our boy Lon. It's shaping up to be a nice looking battlefield. It's all right. It's a good aesthetic. All right.
Okay.
Anybody else have any moves left?
After all the
Negative.
movement is done,
Yeah, they are done.
then we roll for deployment. So
there
any
it is.
formation that's got that has deployed stands.
This is consequential for our guys right here.
Well,
Duguden 1-3.
I have a minimum of 2. This guy's already deployed, so it's automatically a minimum of 2. So these guys 2 will automatically deploy, correct?
That is correct. So they
Okay.
each get 3 inches of movement, and then the artillery will go right behind the rear center, and the reformation area will be a foot behind the back wave.
Is that true? If these guys 2 were getting a minimum of 2 out of these, because I have these 2 guys deployed.
So you'll want to roll because the minimum is 2.
Okay, I will roll for Gudon.
You moved your regulating unit moved less than half.
It did.
Correct.
It stood still, in fact.
Yeah.
And the Gudon's command is a 1.
Mhm.
So
He is under threat.
and you're not threat does not matter for
Oh, that's
deployment.
right. It doesn't matter. That's right.
You're not in rough, dense, bad terrain or a road, right? No,
No
you
road.
are
We
you are
off-
out in the open. So you are just +1 on your die, and it is half the result, which is
So-
2.
Okay, Dieter is deploying. He's a 1. He's on the road, which goes to 3. And I'll probably
He's not on a road though.
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
That's
That's a
a road back there.
yeah.
Oh, it is. Look at that. I wow. Well done. Okay, sorry.
There's so many Austrians. They didn't block out the sun, but they
Yeah.
blocked out the
I
road.
blocked out the
So
road.
7 halved is to 3, right?
Yes. And the 3 inches of movement that they use, I believe, ignores terrain.
I'm sorry. What's the plus for being on the road? +2.
Yes.
Plus the guy's command. Plus 3.
No.
So 7.
3.
3, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you, Jim.
Sorry, what was the plus for being on the road again?
2.
2.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll for our hand over here.
Mhm.
4 plus
3 plus 3 is
Six.
7. 3.
This fight looks like it needs a fountain of dice so badly.
That's the crazy part. You're gonna roll like 2 dice aside when this
I know.
nightmare is over.
I'm just moving.
I
him
know
out
it
of the
just
way.
seems so wrong.
More than
not wrong.
that.
Not
You'll,
hardly.
you'll get. You get 1 for every 9.
Yeah.
So how much threat is going?
Yeah,
into,
that's true. I
to
mean, I was
Dieter?
sort of running that number in my head. I think they're gonna the French will wind up with 4, and the Austrians maybe with 2.
1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 12, and then these are.
Oh, that's right. I
apiece.
keep thinking they're 1s. They're not. Yeah.
Yeah, so they've
Yeah,
got they've got
got
12
it.
over here, and he'll have to make a decision about. Dan will have to make a decision which way this guy's threat is going, because it looks like he is about as evenly contacted by those 2 units as possible. So that means that he gets to choose.
Set some kind of a new record.
What's the new record?
Oh, he sets it for evenness.
Oh, so I've got a question. I noticed we've got 3 Austrian. Oh, Velker moved his, but hasn't rolled for it yet.
Correct.
Okay. Gotcha. Oh, somebody was smart and labeled those with players' names so that we knew who they belonged to. Who would have done such a thing?
No, that laugh just reminded me of Inspector Dreyfus from.
Yes. Yes. I have those days.
That Velker talking?
No. That was Daniel.
Velker's been awfully quiet. I'm kind of concerned.
He's-
Let's say, is
he's
Velker's
plotting
voice
over
changing
there.
Again? He's playing Elder Ring at the same time.
Yeah, right.
Waiting for his turn.
No, he beat Elden Ring this week.
Ah,
100 hours in.
did you ever talk you into playing?
Nice.
I tried.
He tried. I yet may get into it once it drops in price, honestly.
My one friend who has it, he's on his 4th turnaround on it.
Yeah, he started another spec. It's a gorgeous game. No doubt about it.
Are all of our deployments done?
Yeah,
Speaking
are
of
we done?
Velker,
Anybody
did
else
Blank deploy
gonna
whatever he
deploy?
was going to deploy?
This looks like deployment to me down here. Is it not, Delaner?
Where?
Here.
Yeah, that deployed.
Deru.
Oh, you did that?
Yeah, that was the one that had 3.
Oh, okay, got it. Thank you. Then I'm going to say, yeah, David.
Lang is deployed, Velker?
Yes, I would like to deploy some of these guys.
Oh, very good.
Okay.
So now you got to
Where's the head of his column though? 'Cause
I don't know where the head of his column went. because
His
Lang
head
is
of his
not in
yeah,
the window.
Velker.
Oh,
Where's
I forgot.
yeah, yep.
He's
You got to back the bus up. Yeah, it's there.
There we go.
That's what I would have thought. We'll leave it. That would have been my guess, but okay. We'll have to back that bus up a little bit.
So they moved less than half, right?
Oh yes.
So no minus for that. They're on a road. +2 for that. Commander is
A 1.
1. So they're at +3
Mm-hmm.
+2 dice.
7.
So you get 3 stands.
Mhm.
1 stand, 2 stand, 3 stand.
Yep. So what I want to do though is back that guy up, back this guy up. You're starting from here because your leader was there.
Yeah.
So start with that guy. 3 inches.
Any direction, any
And
facing.
now you can bring that guy on. Actually, he would be next. Yep. And now this dude is going to deploy. You're going to want to get him off the road, you know. Everybody else stays put. And now your leader is again the cork in the bottle.
Wonderful.
And do note that Chrono is coming your way. He appears to want to talk to you. I think we missed this. In fact, I'm certain we did. Does he have to roll for that? During
Yes.
the okay.
Unless he had rolled for it.
He
and
had not.
died in a delay.
So yeah, Velker, why don't you roll for this order? For this objective? Just going through it again. I don't think he's got anything other than his... Well, he's got his... CNC. Where is he? Where'd you put him? Holy cow. Yeah, he's way back here. Ah.
He's supervising.
Yeah. +1.
Oh, very Austrian of him.
+2. So you need a... So if I'm reading this right, David, to change objective, he's usually a +1. Doubles because he's ordering himself, so it's a 5 or better on 2d6.
That is correct.
There you go. And it
Just
goes.
barely.
All right, so this is no longer your objective. That is.
Wonderful.
There we go. Doesn't change anything, to be honest. Because he's got... All right, so that's a party. All right, so that's all the deployments.
So we are on to leader fate.
This is my favorite.
Top of
'cause-
the combat
Okay,
phase.
somebody wake up Ian Jackson. There's a lot going on out here that could turn horrible very quickly.
So every commander whose formation is threatened, or if it is your force commander, if they are in a threat zone, I don't think he is. I don't think he might be.
He's just out of 6 inches.
Oh, then he's not.
He is.
Oh, he's within 6.
Oh no, he's within 6. Dang it! I forgot about these guys.
So he's got a check. It's a snake eyes roll.
Snake Eyes
so-
for Lon. Let's see.
Come on, this is me rolling now.
It's 1809.
Oh, good point. How about Marula? That's you, OJ. Snake Eyes?
Oh,
Whoa! 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 Saint-Hilaire.
Not a snake eyes. That's all that
No.
matters.
Alright. Certainly,
Kellerman.
Gudin is, no?
Gudan, yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. Gudon.
You want Kellerman to roll?
I'm working
Either
my
way, just call it out.
And now we got Kellerman, yep.
We're good.
And Morand.
Is he
Is he
within
in threat?
6?
He's not within
His
threat.
his formation is right.
Yes.
Transformation is, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
he is in
Yeah,
there
he's the
somewhere.
formation commander.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So if it's the formation commander, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's a force commander and they're not in personal command, then they only have to roll based on their own proximity.
Got it.
Okay, so then the Austrians have some rolling to do.
Yes.
Mayor first.
Sure.
And
That's
then
not
leader-
really a sound you want for the for that roll.
The
Leader's
French have
next.
machine guns.
And do I have to roll for my force commander?
I don't believe
he's
he
outside
is.
of
Nope,
6.
he's
Yeah.
outside of 6. He doesn't care. He's fine.
And
Okay, cool.
there's Lang over here.
Is Lang in range? Where is it?
His
Red
formation.
Formation is.
Yeah. Lang, that's you, Velker. Hanging out back there, but 2d6. Don't roll snake eyes.
Roll snake eyes.
He's good.
He's good.
Aw, would have been so exciting.
If you roll snake eyes, you roll again on the harm commanders, right?
Yeah.
That's when I saw that
Yeah,
3. I was
that's
like,
correct.
killed. No, but it's still after you roll the.
All right.
Yes.
So
if you fail your 3% chance roll, then you have to roll to see what happens to you.
Right.
The
Yeah.
best result is 11 or more.
all right.
Guess we're doing combats.
We have got all sorts of threat assessment
So
going
my
on.
first question with this threat assessment is who gets to decide what we assess?
So effectively, the rules decide. The order doesn't particularly matter.
Okay.
Because threat is 1, it's resolved simultaneously, and
Yes.
2, all the threat going into a formation is factored in when you resolve its.
Sure.
So, Mayor, for instance, is going to add in all the threat from both the French cav and the French infantry
Right.
when they calculate theirs.
So so
Peter
nobody
is
gets
going to-
priority. It's just as easy to say we're going to go right to left or left to right.
Correct.
Okay.
The thing that does matter is when we apply the combat loss portion of the results.
Mm-hmm.
The worst result goes first.
And do we do all the threat assessments first and then resolve them?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It just matters that the opposing ones have completed. So,
I
for
see.
instance, if we're going to do the Austrian left flank first,
Mm-hmm.
Saint Hilaire, and
Marla.
yes, Marla,
Blah.
and
Ah.
Mayor all need to finish theirs so that we know who the worst is
Can,
Right.
among
can I
them.
ask one very quick question here?
Please.
The Landwehr that's here behind, are they considered part of this combat if I wasn't touching them?
They would give cohesion either way.
I don't think.
They will not provide any threat because they threaten on their front edge and they are not touching anyone on their front edge.
You want to be hitting them, Mike, is the answer. To
Yeah.
that
And that's
question.
that's what my question was. Is would have made more sense to pull them back and not
Nope.
that by me touching them they got included.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Well, therefore, let's start over here, since this is the gigantic thing that it is. Holy cow!
And this isn't that big a combat.
Says you.
Okay, so this happens simultaneously and generally speaking when everybody knows what the heck they're doing. The way it works is
Aha!
I add up my threat and cohesion, and you add up your threat and cohesion, and then we each take turns comparing numbers. But we're doing this on TTS, so there's only one voice channel, and none of us know what we're doing. Did I just say that?
Except you.
So let's walk all the way through
Hooray! Yes,
one
let's.
way, and then move on to the next, so that you can kind of see how it goes. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Wonderful. Okay, so we're not going to apply any results. That's going to require a little bit of fiddling, so I'll make myself a notation or something. And we'll walk through all of the calculations real fast. So what have the French have going into Mayor? What's the total threat going into Mayor? Add up all of the infantry stands, all of the cavalry stands.
I have
and keep
8 on-
keep those two separate.
Oh, keep the two separate. So I have
Figure out what the cav is and subtract its fatigue. Figure out what the
Okay.
infantry is.
What
and
does
subtract
shock? What does shock do?
You don't care in this situation. Shock means that if you are hitting a built-up area, a strong point or walls, that your threat is not reduced.
Okay, so I have
Should be 12.
no, it's no. One,
guys are
2, 3, 4, 5,
These
6
guys are
plus.
regular. These guys are 0.5.
Yeah, yeah.
Are they? Or am I?
No,
reaching
these
for-
all should be 3, so it should be 18.
These are all.
Sorry.
This is 18.
Yeah,
I
it's
was gonna say 18, 19 plus the commander.
And does he get both commanders or just the one?
He only has one there, right? Because Lon is not in personal command.
Oh, that's
No.
right. That's right. You have to take
If
personal.
Lon had taken personal command, you would also add his.
So it's 19.
Correct.
So he's got 19. Does he have any fatigue
does-
on that
he does
division?
not.
He has none. Okay. So he is 19 plus 1 die naturally, a second die for the first 9, a third die for the second 9, right?
Right. So he's got 2
So he's got-
dice.
He's got 3 dice. He gets 1 die no matter what,
Oh, I see.
and then he gets another 2 dice because he's got 19 and
That's
he gets
2.
another
I get
die
it.
for every 9 points.
Ooh. That is.
So you've got three dice going into the Austrians from Saint Hilaire.
Mm-hmm.
Now the Cav add up to what?
12 plus Marla himself is another +1. Is that correct?
Yep. So
So
you're at 13 minus your fatigue.
5, so it'd be 8 total.
So you've got 8 points. You only get 1 die
Okay.
because you didn't hit your 9. And whether you roll your die separate or whether you ask Saint Hilaire to roll all of them together doesn't matter because it's all
Right.
additive in the end.
Ron will roll all of them together.
All right, so that's 4 dice then, right?
Plus,
Yep, 4 dice plus
27.
Yeah. 27.
yes, 27 points plus 4 dice. Go ahead and roll.
39 total.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what is the Austrian cohesion of that division?
Is it the left or the right number?
It's the left.
Is the left number unless they are in the village. Then it's the right number, which should be half of the other one.
Oh.
Okay.
So actually, it's this guy. It's really only this guy.
Okay.
So the Landwehr is a net 2 for their 4 units because they're a half each, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, so there's 2.
It's 11.
Okay.
Plus your commander.
Yeah, I included command. So it's
And you got your artillery battery because it's
Yeah.
cohesive with the Reformation area.
so it's 6 for the infantry, 7 for the two halves, and then another 9 plus the commander's a 10, and the battery's 11
And then minus 3 fatigue.
on -3, so 8.
So 8 versus 39.
31 total net.
No, it's not a net.
It's not net, it's multiplier.
It's gonna be a. It's
Yeah.
gonna be a
Multiplier.
ratio.
It's how many times
It's
did
4
you
to 1.
multiply the
No, it's
8?
3 to 1.
3 to 1.
And you have to get whole increments,
Yep.
so it's 3 to 1.
Yep.
Yep. Missed by
Uh,
1 point there, Ron.
Dang it.
Okay.
So don't apply anything to the Austrians yet, but you're going to get plus 3 fatigue, and you are potentially going to have 3 combat losses. So 3 units are going to fall back or rout,
Okay.
retire or rout. So now Austrians going back at the French,
Should be 22. Unless
and it
So it's-
gets split.
It
okay,
does.
that gets okay. So there's
These two go at the Cav.
right. So there's 18 for the infantry. Does the commander count? I don't know if he's
Yes.
Yes, he has a +1.
so. Can I do I choose which way
He goes both.
Oh, he goes.
He adds against every target.
Okay, so 19 for the infantry. And that's it. It's only in combat, right? The battery, does the battery count?
The battery, I can't see 45 off of the battery. So the question is whether the battery hits
No,
those. No. Okay.
it's not that
45 right
generous.
there.
Oh wait, maybe you're right.
It's a
No,
45
it's not
degree
off
up.
the. It's off the right angle. It's not off the center. That's what screwed it up.
He's
Yeah,
got
so
Yeah,
if you,
he's got
if
it.
you take
He's
it
got
up,
those
he
things.
does?
Yep.
Okay, so you
Yes.
get the battery.
So let's go back to the infantry. So it's 18 plus 1, 19. And the cavalry is 6, 7 for the commander, 1.5. So 1, 8 total.
What was the
Oh,
one and a
no,
half?
we're at 2, 2. I'm looking at cohesion. Sorry, so it's 2.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So it's 6, 8, 9 for the cavalry.
So 9 points against the French cav and 19 points against the French infantry, correct?
Correct.
And that is before we subtract your fatigue, right?
Right. So 6 and then
16 and 6.
Right.
So you roll one. You will roll one die against the cav, and add 6 to it.
total of 8.
Okay, and then you will roll 2 dice against the infantry, and add 16 to it.
That's better. Oh, it was a 6 that rolled over. So 25.
25 versus Saint Hilaire, 8 versus the cav, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay, so what's the cohesion of the cav? Not a ton.
7. Net 7.
After you subtract their fatigue.
No. So it's
And
net
they
2
are,
after.
Do you add the battery?
something to, oh, I screwed up something. How much fatigue did the cav have going in? They had 8.
5.
They're, you subtract 2 for every fatigue for cavalry.
So 10.
So there was probably a die down against the Austrians.
No,
The cav
because the
only
cav
rolled
only
one
had
die.
one die.
Oh, the cavalry only had 1 die.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, okay, wonderful. But it would have been plus, what would they add in?
It
Would they
doesn't
have gone
matter.
to
They're
0?
not going to get far enough because they only missed 4 times by 1 point.
Yeah, good point. Okay, wonderful. Good. So, on their cohesion, they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, minus 10.
So I give the gun.
The
the
gun
gun's
is not
limbered.
committed, correct?
All right.
It's
Correct.
limbered.
Your cohesion has a minimum value of 1.
Okay.
So you are. There were 8 points coming against the cav.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 8 to 1.
Ouch.
So the cavalry are going. I don't
8
think.
to 1 or 8 to 2?
8 to 1.
So the cavalry are gonna get the worst result. The French infantry have a cohesion of what?
I think it's all going to be 1s.
I think they're all 1s. plus their
13
commander.
total. 13 total.
13.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they had a total,
It's 1 to 1.
1 to 1.
right?
Yeah, it's 25 to yeah.
Missed it by 1.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll apply our results, and it's going to go first against the French cavalry, then against the Austrians, then, if there's anybody left in contact, against the French infantry.
I see. Okay, now that rule makes sense to me. Good, very good.
Is everybody following what we did so far?
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay. So, this is going to be really easy for the French cav because you've got 8 combat losses, but you only have 6 contacts.
They all go.
So I take that back. I want to say it is threatened, so you might only have 5 contacts. But you're going to get to roll for each of those. And so start on your left flank over here.
All right.
And you roll a single die. that stand, ooh, so that stand routes if the die roll is less than the number of combat losses. How many combat losses did you take?
Oh no.
Yeah, it's like so.
How
they're
many?
gone.
How high can you roll on a 6-sided die?
Right.
So those are all going to route to the Reformation area.
Oh, okay. Okay. And how should they be set up back there?
They just go in a pile around that.
Does the artillery fall back also?
It does not. No one is bothering it.
They're like, what's going on over there? I don't see what the fuss is about. Just want to turn around, so.
Just showing them all. I'm showing them all jumbled.
There you go. And their fatigue number will add 8, so it goes up to 13.
Oof. Gonna need some rallying there. Oh god, it only goes up to 10.
Sorry, Mike. We had to see what happens, right?
It's good to know.
So
I still think it was worth it, right? Because
Well,
everybody,
and you
Oh, definitely.
consider that you took them in. They had a total of 7 cohesion, and they had 5 fatigue when they went in. So you kind of knew they were going to blow up. The question is, were they helpful in your attack?
They got us to 3-1, so I think so.
So at what
Yeah.
point? At what point do they go off the field?
Generally, they don't. I mean, somebody could chase them off the field.
All right, so they're going to hang around here, but we can all see that
They're going to go to a broken status as soon as we finish resolving combat.
okay, that's what I
And
was
they
looking for,
are
okay.
going to have to try to stay a mile away from the enemy.
Okay.
So they're going to retrograde move every turn away from all threat until they reach a mile away from the enemy.
Okay, there we go.
But will they get picked up off of the field, or will they take up space, being a big nuisance in the back? I'm guessing it depends on how far the Austrians drive.
Got it.
So Austrian
is-
result is next, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So 3 fatigue
So
and
the-
3 possible losses.
Yes. Now, do you have anybody who's unsupported? Yes. Those have to take them first. So you have to roll those 3. If you roll a 3 or better, they just fall back 3 inches. If you
can
roll,
you apply that? I'm sorry. Can you apply that to the landwehr? Because I hit that in that one's
These are no longer
unsupported.
in contact.
correct, since they are
Okay.
no longer in contact, no.
Okay.
So if the cavalry hadn't blown up, then the
yes, okay.
Austrians would probably be taking this on their left flank instead of on their right flank.
All right.
That was my intention, but that's good to know that since they were unsupported. And I guess that village doesn't give them any advantage, right?
No, it does not.
Okay, so do I roll 3 dice?
Oh, pick a
prob-
stand and roll a
Yeah,
die.
I should do it in sequence. Yeah.
And you want 3 or better.
Let's do the closest to mayor first, and then we'll go
Okay.
up from there.
So that one just falls back 3 inches.
Oh, routes.
That one routes to the Reformation area. That one falls back 3 inches.
But these two both fall back then.
All right.
And then your fatigue goes up to 6.
Which it is. Oh, it's not a 1.
No, it's at 3.
Got it.
Saint Hilaire got a multiplier of 1, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So you have 1 combat loss. You cannot roll less than a 1 on a 6-sided die, just like the Cav could not roll 8s on their 6-sided die. So it will not rout, but
1 fatigue.
If you don't have any unsupported units in contact, so you get to pick of your units in contact, which one do you want to fall back?
Ah, so he still does.
Yep, he still has to apply it, but he'll get to choose which one.
That one there.
Someone really wants you to move that one.
That was me. That was
Oh,
me
gotcha.
configuring.
Question regarding where in the Reformation area does it matter? Is it?
It doesn't go in the Reformation area. It just falls back 3
No,
inches.
the guy Daniel
No,
moved.
my.
Oh, the guy
Austrian-
Daniel moved. No, yeah, just adjacent to the.
Did
sorry.
you just? Oh, I'm sorry, Jim. Did you just move that?
I did.
Okay.
And how much fatigue does he take?
I think
Saint Hilaire?
Yeah, 1 for 1.
He takes 1.
1, okay.
You take so the number of times that you are multiplied by is the number of
That's your
fatigue,
fatigue,
you
okay.
take and the number of combat losses you take, assuming that stands remain in contact.
Yes.
Which French guy fell back? Was it this one?
Mm-hmm.
This one.
So he has to go back 3 inches. So
He
he
did.
would probably hopscotch behind.
No, he did. He already did. I moved him.
Oh, he's totally within 3 inches.
Oh, okay. Because I just angled him a little to avoid one dude. Right there.
And they have to move away from all threat, which I think the only threatening. Well, if he falls, yeah, infantry threat off their front. So he's probably, is he in the threat zone of that guy?
There
It's off 45.
we go.
There,
Yeah, that's
no,
fine.
non-issue. Wonderful. So these are then just locked as they are.
Oh, okay. So they stay. All right.
They stay. Status checks. The last step, well, the last sub-step of the combat step is status checks. So these cavalry convert to broken. So whatever orders they were on, I think they were on defend, but they are now on broken. And they will move at half speed away from all threat right now when they go broken. And the artillery... I don't think the artillery is required to do anything. I think it stays in reserve. The whole thing just moves back as a big mass, yes.
So the Reformation area goes too, or no?
Yeah, the Reformation area, which is where all the units are, except for the artillery. All of the cav will move back half speed. So they normally move, what, 20?
Yep.
20 and open, yeah.
Yeah, so they will move back 10 inches
Now or
towards this village right now.
Immediately.
Status check.
Not the Reformation area, though, OJ.
Yep.
No, yeah.
the whole-
I'm
Everything.
sorry, not the gun.
No,
Oh, I
the,
thought-
the,
no,
the gun
I thought you
the
said
gun is in reserve, so it maintains its
Yeah.
relative location to the rest of the group. So the whole group just moves.
Oh, okay. So the gun does go. Okay.
Yes. If there were, let's say that there were battle waves up in front of this
Oh, yeah,
gun,
yeah.
the whole thing would just shift backwards.
Yeah.
All right.
boy howdy. Okay.
Status check for the Austrians. They've got 6 fatigue, and they've got, is that 50% of their cohesion?
These guys on 0.5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Not quite.
If they've reached 50%, they would go on withdraw, and they would fall back a half move.
There.
If they haven't reached it yet, then they stay where they are.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It might be. This kind of counts as half using the.
Yeah,
It's.
it is. So if you're at 11 and a half and your fatigue is 6, then you are
Then
at 50% or more.
9.5
5.
of the gun gives them. The gun gets them there. Because
Okay.
without the gun, they're at 9.5.
6.
So the gun gets them to 10 and a half, right?
Yeah.
That's still
But
not there.
they've got to get 13
Oh,
when
you're right.
they reach, because they've got 6 fatigue,
Yes.
Oh, you're right.
and
My
at
bad.
50% they fall back.
Oh, okay. So they fall back then, I guess.
And how far does
So
it fall back?
the Austrian division will make a half. Pick your regulating unit. It moves at half speed away from all threat, and everybody else has to be moved to be cohesive.
In open ground, it should be 8.
Right.
Yes.
Yay, math.
Does terrain matter?
No. Well, yes. No, terrain matters. So if you move your and it's,
Because this guy's in
I
town.
think the only time it matters is if he picks this one as his regulating unit, right? But yes, you apply terrain.
Okay, so he has to stop when he leaves that town.
Yes. So if you pick that as your regulating unit, then you're going to move it back to here, and all the other stands have to move to be cohesive with it. If you pick somebody else, like say this Landwehr battalion, just for example, you'd move him back 8, and then move everybody else to be cohesive. That one stand that's in the village is still going to end up just outside the village, no matter what.
Right.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So does the artillery move as well, or no? It just 'cause it's
No,
already-
the artillery stays where it is because it is unlimbered.
Roger.
The Reformation area will move after you've adjusted everybody.
They appear to have left.
And see, now the cavalry can say that they were heroes.
Well, duh.
That's what they're telling everybody at the Reformation area.
Am I right? I mean,
this infantry
this-
unit in the outside here that I'm holding moves 8, or does it just move right outside the town?
does it have to go through the town?
That one is not in the
Yeah.
town.
It's
Okay.
not in the town, and it has
Not
a
in the
clear
town.
movement. So if it doesn't run into any terrain, it can move up to 8. It just has to get somewhere cohesive.
You did notice the cavalry fell back here onto the tavern, right?
Yeah. The hussars are in the tavern drinking, telling everyone of their exploits. Look,
They
Yes.
have a little campfire going.
we threw them back.
It was us. Oh,
So is that fine for that unit to be there?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
You can arrange these as you want, right? Because it's the regulating unit is the one that has to comply with the withdrawal.
Okay.
And then everybody else moves to be cohesive. So you can, so long as they don't exceed their 8 inches, you can clean these up and rearrange them as you please.
They've gone to their 8 inches. So.
Perfect. Then I believe that we
He's gotta
move on.
He's got to move this Reformation area a good deal back.
Yeah, the Reformation area will fall back, and the routed unit with it will fall back to somewhere around here-ish.
Good combat, Mike.
yep. We did well.
Put a note in chat. But I don't know. That was my thought a minute ago. Okay, so for this combat,
Yes.
Yes, Chrono.
So this is all Dieter.
Yep.
versus Gudin.
So this is going to work the same way, right?
Okay, so we've got this guy's not quite in, so it's going to be one. I'm going to have a 9, so I think it'll net me 2d6. Or it's going to be 10 total because of the commander, I think.
So what we say then
This
is
guy. Oh, this guy did not make contact. Gotcha.
I couldn't make it
3,
work.
6,
so-
9
Yep.
plus 10. Yeah,
One.
as you say.
So you're at 10 points. You have no fatigue, correct?
Right, so that'd be 2 dice plus 10.
Correct.
Okay.
And hold on a moment. They will also be added to whatever you
Yeah, I
get.
was gonna say that's gonna change the
Will
number of
also be
dice.
colored.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
but we total the dice separate though. So the each formation sums up its threat
Oh, okay. Okay.
and determines its
Yeah.
dice. So you can't have or the increments of 9 that you have to make. Every formation has to make those on their own.
That makes sense.
So Mike, you've got 18 plus 1,
19.
you've got 19. That's gonna be 3
Okay.
dice for you.
So our total is 5 dice plus 29.
Wait. I thought the infantry and the cavalry would be 2 separate.
You're all
No, no.
Dieter.
It's all one division.
Okay.
Do you want to roll this, Mike, or should I do it?
Go ahead, Chrono.
So this is
So
5 dice.
What was our
plus-
total?
5 dice plus 29.
that was my thought.
Yeah.
Ugh.
40.
Not great.
How much cohesion do the Austrians have?
Now, the ployed. This is my question again. The ployed guys count
Yeah.
for nothing, correct?
Correct.
All right.
So
Everybody
that's
else.
6,
These are halves.
7,
Why'd they halves? They should be
9,
one.
These are,
10
these
and
are
a half,
ones. Yeah, these are ones.
11.
Yeah, I think everything that's deployed is 1. Yeah.
It's 1.5. What's 1.5?
That 1.5 is wrong. That 1 shouldn't
Oh,
be
gotcha.
there. It's 1 and
gotcha.
1/4. Like these dragoons are 1 1/4. These guys are 1 1/2.
Okay, so,
So 7, 8, and 11 and a 3/4.
so 3 to 1 then.
Where's
No,
the
these
three-quarters?
dragoons are like David said.
The
these are
dragoons are
ones.
all 1 apiece.
Yeah, these are
Yeah.
1,
Oh, okay.
2,
So-
3.
Everything
11.
you've got deployed is
Yeah, it's
1
11.
apiece.
So it's you
11.
just missed 4 to 1.
Yep.
3 to 1.
21. And then he has to split.
And does he have any fatigue on him?
I have 1.
Oh,
Oh,
Those are 10.
So he hits 4
It
to
is-
1.
it is 4 to 1.
brutal. That's
Good
Good job, Chrono.
Have fun, fatigue. Oh.
That's 4.
Um,
So coming back,
so he'll be taking 4 to 1. What is he got going out? And it is so. Dan, you've got to make a decision about this guy because it looks like he is equally split. In which case you're picking where it goes.
It's going against. Ooh, wait a minute.
Everybody, all of the French
I'd
are
actually-
fresh.
Right.
The
So,
infantry has lower cohesion, right? Because they've only got 4 points plus their commander. The Cav have got 7 points, including their commander.
No,
8.
It's going to go
with
against
their
the Cav
artillery?
then.
you're gonna go against the Cav.
Okay.
Okay.
So you've got the Dragoons are a threat of 2.
Yep.
So you've got 6 points from the Dragoons. You're throwing that 1 battalion in with them. Correct?
Yes. Yeah, so that's 9 plus the commander 10.
That's 2 dice.
Yep. Minus.
Oh, that's right. Well, I'll still give him
Minus
2.
1.
I'll still give him 9. So I'll still give him.
It's actually the same for both. So this is 3, 9, 10, back to 9.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
9.
Then
2D.
you'll get
plus-
2 dice for each of them. So call which one you're rolling first and roll your
Infantry
dice
first?
and add them.
Infantry first.
Really?
12.
3 to 1,
That's a 3 to 1. Yep.
I think.
No, it's
One.
it's actually 2 to 1 because you've got Gudin.
Oh, that's right. So 1, 2, 3, 4 plus. Who? Yay.
1 point. 2 to 1.
And then the Cav?
Are you sure you gave him new dice?
I know, right?
2, 3. That's 1 to 1. Is that 1 to 1? Yeah.
6 plus Kellerman is 7.
Yeah.
8.
Eight.
No, not 8. Is it
6.
cohesive with anything? Yes, it's cohesive. So yes, the artillery counts. It's cohesive with the. It's to any part of that 2 stands.
That's
So.
right. You have deploy artillery. So it is 1 to 1
Yep. So it's 2 to 1 and 1 to 1.
and 4 to 1.
So the Austrians have to apply theirs first. So pop your fatigue level up to 5.
Got that.
And then you have to apply 4 combat losses. It looks like you've got these 4 units are unsupported. It looks like the rest of them are supported. The other 3 are. So you have to apply them to those 4.
Okay, the soul infantry first.
Okay?
He routes.
That one routes the Reformation area. You are looking for the
3 or 4
audience out there in the internets, you are looking for 4s or better.
The next cavalry.
I need to give him new dice.
I guess. Maybe I give him his old dice back.
There's a
There you
4.
go.
Last one.
Alright, so let's go.
So 2 routed.
50-50, it's about average, considering the dice roll.
That's true. And then those guys gotta back the bus up.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They have to make a withdrawal move.
Yep.
3 inches.
And that's for both infantry and cavalry, David?
Yeah, because it's not the number of inches that you move, it's the distance that you're opening up.
Fair enough.
So you retire until you're outside of
Yeah.
3 inches of all enemies.
He's gonna have to go a little bit further just because this guy's standing out there. So right about there. Or maybe not. Is it only from the front edge or from any part of the base?
Any part of the bay. Well,
Well, it's threat, right? So it's 45 degrees off front.
it's from threat, yeah. Until outside from all enemy, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably fine. Yeah, I was right then. Cool. Then I guess I apply my combat losses, because I took 2 to 1.
So first question I
Yep.
had, over here, OJ has nobody
Yeah.
in contact. Does he have to apply?
Yeah. He has to apply any fatigue that he takes, but he doesn't have to apply any combat losses.
Oh, look at that. So he gets 1 fatigue, right? Or he was... Yeah,
He was 1 to 1.
He was 1 to 1.
The infantry were 2 to 1.
Where's Kellerman's Reformation area? Oh, there it is.
It's back here. Either side of the infantry.
Gotta put up. Just gotta put a marker on it.
So none of my guys are supported at this point, right?
Correct.
I will go here.
Actually, these 2, I believe, are by this.
Because
Even
they're
though he's not-
within frontal arc.
Even though he's
Yep.
not deployed.
Correct.
Okay, so let's be these 2 then. I'll do my left, then my right.
Alright.
Ugh.
Wow.
So, the first Leger makes a wonderful exit from the field to the Reformation.
And says,
area.
hey, we don't like this at all.
The other guys, however, pull it together and go back 3.
And that's 2 fatigue.
Mine's all the way back here.
Alright. So it is.
5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9. I think they also withdraw because I think Austrians have to withdraw again.
So the and the French probably do.
They don't have any...
One.
They've got 1 fatigue.
I got 3 total with my commander, so I managed to not withdraw.
Withdraws at 50% your cohesion.
Right. So I have 3.
Right. So you've got 2 cohesion and you've got 3 cohesion.
Well,
Yes.
4. 'cause
4
he's still
cohesion.
alive.
So you're at 50%.
No, I only have 1.
No,
that's Kellerman.
Kellerman has.
Oh, that's
You've got
Kellerman.
2.
You've got 2. So you're at 50%.
Okay, so we both withdraw then.
Yes. Which is a half move
Wait,
retrograde.
I'm higher than.
You're
more
at
than
5.
I'm more than 10. I have 11. Right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
These guys are out of
9.
cohesion.
Oh, it's not the.
Are they?
It's not the plug.
Oh yeah, they are. They are out of cohesion.
And deploy
And
units.
deploy-
Don't
Yeah,
count.
and it's
Deployed's
only
worth
and it's only these deployed units.
Roger.
Yeah, and he gets the larger of the 2 chunks since they are not cohesive. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And 5.
He doesn't, and 5 fatigue. He doesn't retreat. He just withdraws
And withdraws half. Movement.
a half movement away. So pick your regulating unit.
Okay.
So what is
And
he?
move it.
And what do they do now that they've got that they're partially deployed?
So the deployed column is going to move back as a column.
Oh, okay.
It basically just backs up. Because we're not real concerned about how it gets there. We're just concerned where it ends up.
So that's that's on my regulating unit.
Okay, then everybody
Sorry.
else has to stay cohesive with that.
Sorry, I grabbed
Roger.
an Austrian.
And this was your regulating unit, correct,
That is
Chrono?
correct.
Yeah, so everybody else just has to stay cohesive with that.
So
Hey,
the other
OJ, you
unit-
don't
the
got to
oth-
go nowhere.
Yeah,
the other
Kellerman's
units,
like,
as
where
long
y'all
as they
going?
stay, as long as there's a daisy chain, they really don't have to move much, right?
Dragoons for the win.
So to Daniel's point, I just want to make sure that he's right. It's really only the regulating unit that has to move. You can figure out a way that the others
No,
don't have to move anywhere near that far. Or
So
do
could-
those bases have to make a 6-inch move?
I am checking to make sure I get it right since we're on TV and all.
That's good. That's good. Well done.
They do still have to move according to status checks.
Okay.
So they do still fall back. They just have to stay cohesive with
All
it.
right, so everybody does have to move 6 inches.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
6 or 8? I thought it was a half move.
It's a half move.
Oh,
so
it's a half,
8
so it's
inches.
8, yeah.
Goy's got punched up a bit, but I did protect that flank, so I'm gonna call that a win.
Oh, we got a crash. Son of a gun. Are you kidding me?
Did we seriously?
This was not the time for that, you goofy machine.
Yep.
Oh, there it is.
Okay. Come on, how much did we lose? We just did a lot of work, people. Hello,
I know,
Berserk
right?
Games. What's with that? Come on.
Excuse me.
What time is it right now? 8:08.
Yeah, I have. Yep.
All right, lost less than a minute and a half. Groovy.
Excuse me.
Server's up.
Oh, I was right in the middle of doing my retreat move. Fantastic.
Invites coming. There they are.
Or we came up on the run, deployed our column, and got pushed back, but
It's storming pretty bad here. Hopefully, I don't lose connection or power.
yeah. Tell me about it.
So OJ has significantly turned Kellerman's men like this. I assume his Reformation area should pivot.
I could tell you in a moment once
Sure.
I get back in. It's still drawing things.
I can't. I guess I don't know because he's got
Where's
the majority of it is turned away.
Oh, gotcha. So, what order is he on?
Defend.
He's defending.
He's on a defend, right?
Mm-hmm.
So his Reformation area is anchored where it is.
Okay. Ah.
So the-
If he were on a different order,
Mm-hmm.
then his Reformation area would swing from its current position to be behind his center.
Got it.
Basically, on the next turn, my cavalry's just going to have to reform back up here on the defense, right?
Depending on what they do. Well, depending on the Austrians do, they might come at you again.
Well, I understand that, but right.
Hmm.
Interessante.
Hey, good night, Achilles. Sail safe. We'll see you soon. Yeah, Robert, we will definitely have a game on Wednesday. My beloved wife is working the camera at the Admirals game, but I will be here. Wednesday night, in fact, we're doing the Battle of Gutstadt, the largest cavalry engagement we've ever done in Shaco.
That should be fun.
How big is that?
It's not terribly large. It's Shaco sized. I think the table is 9 by 5.
It's the biggest that we've ever done in Shaco.
In Shaco.
If it is Shaco sized.
It is Shaco sized. It is not Essence Resultat or Blucher or... You know,
Right. I was just curious how large
it represents 15,000 horse,
It's
Nice.
fairly big.
which, given the ratios of Shaco, is a lot. And a buttload of Cossacks. Not happy. Velker is. Let's put it this way. It's far more... the entire scenario is basically horse and guns.
Sure.
That's going to be amusing.
There are some infantry, but not many.
Okay. So now
Everybody settled into their withdrawal?
I think so.
Let's assume they've all withdrawn properly, David. What's next?
Wonderful. So,
Is it
anybody have a
conversions?
handy dandy
Is it
quick reference guide? Because I think that it says. The one step I should make sure that we don't skip is recovery.
Ah.
Nobody's going to have any, but if, at the same time that you do status checks at the end of your combat threat resolution,
Mm-hmm.
is when you do fatigue recovery. So if there was anybody who isn't threatened and wasn't in contact with the enemy this turn,
There we go.
this would be when they would recover.
I see.
That applies to nobody, but it might someday. So,
Well, these guys are going to
Heads
have a
up.
real good shot at that, depending what happens, I guess.
so then we go to conversions. Do we have any? Kellerman's Cav could convert. They have a target within range and arc. I don't know if you want to do that or not. It's risky. You know, he's all cohesive again, so he's up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's got 4 points of cohesion, and you're going to throw
18.
19 points of threat plus 3 dice. So, it depends on how brassy Kellerman is about whether or not he thinks they can chase these Austrian infantry back through this defile.
Let's see. Do I take Ron's cavalry tactics or do I take Velker's cavalry tactics.
It's up to you.
Question. I got a question with regarding
When-
conversions.
Go ahead.
Since
Go ahead,
I,
Yeah.
Go
since I
for it.
withdrew here on both divisions,
Yes.
is that automatically considered withdrawn as far as my order, or am I
Yes.
still on
That
attack?
replaces your active directive with withdraw.
Okay, so okay, but if I'm not,
Oh, so okay, whoa. That's bigger than I thought. So you're saying
So like these guys are no longer on move; they are on withdraw.
yeah, I'm on withdrawal.
oh, and so that are you saying that you're sticking a turn of delay while they reorganize back there?
Oh, it could be worse than that.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Oh. Oh. So these guys literally can't attack next turn.
Correct.
Can we convert to defend?
You can convert to defend once
If
you
not
are no
threatened.
longer threatened.
Right, I shouldn't be threatened with the.
I think you
With-
are though, aren't you?
Right here.
Yeah. Because threat
Even
is
through
also is
even
threat
through the
charge range
village?
too?
Threat is for artillery is a foot in this ground scale. For infantry is 6 inches. For cavalry is at contact.
It is only contact. Okay.
So Dieter is not threatened.
Okay.
Mayor
The guy
is
goes-
threatened.
Mayor is okay. I don't see any withdrawal orders here, so I
It's a
guess
big
that's
red
just.
arrow.
It's
Oh,
the big
it's the
red
red
thing. Yeah.
Except
Oh no, you're knocking
you,
off
yeah, you can't run it through, guys. You got to go around them. Don't do that.
Oh no,
Daniel.
Go.
Daniel, stop.
I got it.
Hands off the keyboard.
He's
Hands
playing
off. Sorry.
hacky sack with the stand of figures.
Sorry.
Don't remember who this guy was.
Is that the only one that does that?
Yeah, I got to get. Just because my wife couldn't get to doing a proper chit, that's what I had.
Okay, no worries.
And I don't believe that Gudin is threatened at this point.
So I'll put him on defend.
Okay, who knocked over Fig?
So these two will both be on defend, Gudin and Dieter.
That's huge, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, it stops your forward momentum. It's,
So I gotta defend. I want to defend with Dieter.
You
It says
can
it
go
must
after him.
defend.
yeah, it's
Not
not
terrible.
once. So they go on withdraw because of the terrible things that happen to them there, and they choose to fall back away from it. Once they get outside of threat, they hunker down in their position.
Right.
So that returns you to the question, OJ: Velker or Dalinar?
Right. So
Could hit these
just to be
guys here.
clear, I'm at 19 points, right?
Yep.
I believe so, because you're
And-
3 points apiece for your dragoons and another one for Kellerman, right?
And to be technical,
Yeah.
you're 8. You remember, you got a fatigue.
Oh yeah, so he's
So I'm at
Actually,
18.
18.
18 plus
They're-
3
They're-
dice.
Their cohesion 4, although they may deploy more troops next turn, unless they. Or just
That
convert.
won't happen yet.
Right.
So we'd fight another combat right now. with-
You fight another combat right now.
So does Kellerman go with him, or will they fall out of distance of Kellerman? Well, it doesn't.
Ke-
well, yeah.
Kellerman is the command stand of Kellerman.
Yes.
He goes with
Okay.
the Reformation. So they will be changing if they convert. They change their order from defend to attack. So all of these stands go forward. Now the question of can everybody hit somebody? I think the answer is yes.
Oh yeah.
Because they have 45-degree arc, and then their full move. If a given stand doesn't have 45 degrees to hit somebody, then it still moves, but it can't make contact. So, this guy,
He's gonna want to.
can he?
He's gonna want to go over there.
Well, he's got to hit somebody within 45 degrees, but I think that he makes it to that one, doesn't he?
It goes here, and this guy can go in there.
Yeah, they're gonna cross
Yeah.
each other as they go, but
So they can all hit somebody. So all of these can go. So you'll get those 6 stands. Kellerman moves along. The Reformation area will now be free and will end up somewhere over here. The artillery stays where it is because it's unlimbered.
I feel like it's worth the risk because they're most are not going. They're going to most are hitting back with 6, maybe 9.
Yep. I agree.
Fine, fatigue.
Ron,
I-
you have
No, I agree too, especially with the already at 5 fatigue. Yeah.
forward.
Velker, you've been selected.
When
Yeah.
you subtract your fatigue, it's an easy thing to oops on. Your calves subtract 2 for
Oh,
every
right.
fatigue. So you're not at 18, you're at 17. You're going to have 2 dice.
2 dice plus 17 against 4.
4.
Is still pretty good.
It's still great.
I like these ratios. They make sense once you get the hang of it.
It's a strange mechanic for people to get used to, honestly, as the guy who came
You're
up
gonna
with
wanna-
it, because
That
No,
guy's
Mike,
got
you gotta do it in frontal threat. You can't do that.
he's got to go basically like
So
that.
what you're gonna want to have this guy hit that guy, and then this guy hits that guy.
Yeah, yeah. And I was thinking it was going to be these two were going to have to swap.
No,
sides.
you got to go
That's-
forward. You can't turn him that much. There you go.
yeah, and to clarify, you can spin a base on a dime as far as facing is concerned. Once you start moving them, but you can only hit stands that were within your front 45.
You are way more
And
trusting than I am.
When you,
You are a kind.
no, we've got 2 different roles here, though. Your job is to make sure that they don't, overtly cheat. My job is to make sure that the listening audience understands what the correct rule is.
These are some of my best friends, and there ain't no way I'm trusting them.
And then the Reformation. You said
The Reformation area will end up a foot behind their center.
Right about here then.
Yeah, can you give me a measure off of their front? Yep,
Rotating.
right about there.
You're basically pretty much perfect.
Yep.
But you gotta.
All right.
Now,
Come on now.
the question is, what evil lurks in the hearts of Velkers? Because,
He's still in defense.
Yeah. Your recreation is going to be a little danger.
Well, I have these guys to reform and get them pushing, and I have these guys coming up. So.
you do. You're not in
So-
a bad way.
All right.
So I
That's
guess
a
we-
melee.
And that happens right now.
It happens right.
It prolongs the turn.
We know it's 17. We already figured that out.
So the cohesion of the Austrians is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 minus 5 is 4. And the French are going to roll 2 dice and add it to 17 and compare it to 4.
It's all you.
Whoa, crud. 25.
25. Ooh.
25, so it's
6 to
6 to 1. How many points of contact have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Or
So those 4 have to roll combat losses, and the
They get to-
Austrians will go
Well, I
up
guess
6.
yeah.
But
Chrono and I are
the
thinking
Austrians
the same
will
way.
be back first.
Yeah, they get
The
to fight back
Austrians
first, right? Yeah. Okay.
So we've got 3, 6, 9,
minus 5.
10 for the officer, minus 5. So you've got 5 points of threat plus 1 die.
Oh yeah, the dice rolls 3 because of the.
Yeah.
11.
What's cohesion on the
7.
3.
7.
minus 1. For
minus
the fatigue.
2?
Minus 2.
Minus 2 for the fatigue.
6, 7,
5.
5. That's 2 to 1.
So they're doubled.
Mm-hmm.
Austrians take the worst result, though, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
4 to 1
Got
versus. It's 4 to 1 versus 2 to 1.
No, it's
Sorry,
6
6
to
to
1.
1.
6 to 1.
6 to
6
1
to
versus 2 to 1. Yep.
1. So the Austrians have to apply theirs first. So they go up to 11 fatigue.
Holy cow.
Okay, we'll start with the 4th Infantry.
And it can only get away from this on 6s.
Yeah.
and the 5th.
Oh, there's
Oh, look at that guy.
Hey!
And what's the next one? The next one.
3rd infantry.
He's going.
And the
These 3 are route, and this guy's to fall back.
Now that leaves 2 checks. What do we do with those?
Nothing.
Okay, so those are lost.
So if you don't make enough points of contact, you just lose the extra hits. Okay. That
Correct.
Makes sense. That only
Which
that
one?
makes sense.
was it the
And
second or
it's
third?
This guy has to withdraw. No. He's your
He just
withdrawal
falls-
guy.
he just
He falls
retires. Yep.
Either over
Okay,
here or
gotcha.
over here. So.
Yeah.
This guy and that guy. But that means nobody is in contact with the French.
Correct. Which means they do not have to apply any.
But they
And
do-
he can fall back through friends. He can fall back to back here in the. I don't know where 3 inches puts him. Does it put him in the woods?
Yeah.
Puts him in the woods. I don't know that you love that very much. I think that might be your option though, because you have to fall back away from all threat, and you're kind of wrapped.
Ooh, that is true. Kind of makes sense. They jumped by cavalry. You're like, run.
Now what happens to the whole unit now that he has
So-
11 fatigue and he only has 6 cohesion?
He does a status check.
So what happens if it can't go 3 inches? Does
You're
it
gonna
go
you
further?
keep going.
Get you.
Okay.
Yeah, you can keep going through friendlies to get there.
Yeah, you can end up over here basically, or yeah, you can end up back there. I think.
There you go. That works.
How many fatigue do the French take?
The
got
2.
French were
2.
doubled, or
Doubled, yeah, they
were
were
the French doubled?
It was 2.
Yeah.
So they go up 2,
Okay.
and then both sides do their status checks. The
Yeah, the
French have a
the French are at
cohesion
7, and we've only got
of-
3, so
Yep. So they don't have to withdraw. The Austrians are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They've got 6 and they're at 11. So they have to go on a withdrawal. They fall back.
You said the French do not have to withdraw, but can they fall back if they wanted to put some space?
If they are
let me back up the question. Basically,
Yeah.
if they want to try and shed off fatigue, would it be wise for them to look at trying to fall back?
It would.
Okay.
And if they are threatened during a conversion step, they may. The problem that they will have is we're in the threat status recovery step of the turn, right?
Mhm.
Not a voluntary conversion. So
Okay.
the Austrians are they have to do their status check right now, and they have to convert to withdraw, and then they make that mandatory move, at the end of which these French cav are not going to be under threat,
Gotcha.
so they won't have the option to. But if by
Okay.
chance they were, because there was, I don't know, Velker had some artillery right here,
Mhm.
they could.
Okay. And I'm good with that. You just said they could have. You just alluded to that they had the option of doing it, so that's why I wanted to
Sure.
be clear. Thank you.
so
No problem.
So Daniel's got to back the whole bus up by 6 inches.
Yeah.
Update from Mother.
That was 8.
Wolves 2.
8 inches.
Adds 1.
Okay, so I got a traffic jam with. Do I just move it to the side of this unit?
Yep. They can go that direction, as you just
Fine.
marked. That woods really hung you up.
I rotate them too.
Well, that was worth the charge.
Yes.
Yes, it was.
You're going to have to move those units individually, Daniel.
Yeah.
Austrian left just got punched in the nose. I'll be right back. I'm gonna take care of some.
You can't go through there.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, you're gonna want to dump it over this way.
That's 7, so I'll move one more back.
And David, he does not now have another chance to convert, correct?
So
Oh no.
that what the chain of events is, because this gets a little bit tricky for people. So I suppose I should walk through it. When you
FYI.
have a conversion at the bottom of combat, it
Yes.
restarts the combat
We lost Mike.
phase.
Yep.
Oh, we
I
missed
crashed out, I'll
Jim's
be back.
favorite there in our excitement about the Cav jumping ahead. Both of those guys should have rolled for leader fate. Again,
Oh.
because it does restart
Oh.
the combat phase.
Not too late to do
Um,
that.
Yeah, I was going to say, they could get themselves killed here. Let's do some leader fading.
But
As soon as I get back in, I'll take my roll.
so we're effectively in a second combat phase for the turn, right?
Okay.
Only units that participated in that second combat phase may convert at the bottom of that second combat phase.
Oh my God,
Holy cow.
that's dirty.
But here's the thing. What are these guys on right now?
They're not doing so hot. They're down 6.
No. What order are they
They're
on?
on an attack.
You can't convert to attack from attack.
I see. I gotcha. They're not threatened anymore, so they're probably on defend.
Withdraw on that.
Well, they're
first
on
one.
withdraw.
Yeah, I'm
That
not
was
touching
that was sort of
so-
my question.
If they get out, if they are not threatened, if they're on withdraw and they are not threatened, when a conversion comes up, they go to withdraw. Or sorry, they go to defend from
Okay.
withdraw.
Oh,
It's involuntary. They do change to defend.
Oh, okay. That makes the most sense. I
They
just
they
wanted
get
to-
away from the threat and then they go, we're hunkering down here.
so the bottom line is, at this point in time, I can't charge him again, right?
That is correct.
They're on
Now-
withdrawal.
Right,
so
but
they're-
but his point is you're out of threat, so you automatically convert to defend.
If the French had a horse battery up here with them that was threatening you, it would keep you on withdrawal. If they had, Leger in these woods threatening you, it would keep you on withdrawal.
Isn't the cavalry threatened within 9?
No, it's
No,
contact.
it only threatens
it's
at contact.
Ah, gotcha.
So the exception to you only get to convert if you participated is the mass cavalry trait for commanders. Some commanders have a trait called mass cavalry, which allows them to throw in their cav despite the fact that they didn't participate.
Oh, interesting.
So if you had, in this battlefield, you chased them into a defile, so there's nowhere for you to have somebody else already staged, right? But let's say that the Austrian left looked a lot different, and you had some more French cabs standing on this road. Assuming their commander had that trait, they could now jump in, despite the fact that they didn't participate.
Wow. Well, that was an awful lot, huh, kids?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That was awfully awesome.
Now there's a lot of stuff to sort, I'll say that.
So I want to say that we are on top of the next turn.
I think we are. That was a turn.
Does anybody have any pending orders to activate?
Yes.
We
I
went
do.
slow and had a lot going. Chad through it all.
Velker does. Some others do. But whoever's got one that is here, Velker's off getting a snack.
I got one.
All right. Show us what you've learned, Ron. What must you roll?
Hey, Jim, come delete these dice here off the edge of the table.
Well, my commander plus 2 himself, so it's a 6. And I can't. And then what was it? My commander plus 1. So I can't fail. I got 7 or higher.
Correct.
You have learned.
That's for setting this objective.
No,
he's
I
changing
was
his order.
changing my
Oh,
orders.
gotcha. Oh, for a directive?
Yes.
Who is the target?
Oh, that's right. It's not for you.
It's not. It's not going to
3
be.
plus him, which is 4.
Yeah.
So you
You
can
have to
fail.
roll that.
Oh yeah, 3 plus. Okay, yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's not that. Yeah, that's not it. Yeah. You could fail.
Two-
You need
two
a 3,
dice?
3 or better. Yeah.
He's fine.
You don't.
All right, I have a conversion, or not a conversion, but a order
guy here?
change. Yeah, Saigon. He's a +3, 1 for him, and +2 for the force commander.
There it is.
Away you go.
And that changes. So it changes from supporting Dieter to supporting Mayor.
Okay. Good decision.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
so
Velker did have one. He is not here. Ron, you want to? Oh, I'm sorry. Daniel, you want to roll for him? This is +1, and I think
where's the?
Oh, he's way off map.
Oh, that's right.
It's -1 per mile, correct?
Yeah.
24 to the mile, so that's 2 miles.
Why is he way back there? Shouldn't he be at the front?
No, he's not the CNC.
The target. Who are we
The
rolling
target's
for?
the target is at the front of the column, where he should be.
And he
Overall, should be up
We-
here, shouldn't he?
well,
I mean-
should be.
That's your order of march, I guess.
Well, no, the CNC generally just you move them on when you wish to move them on. So did he forget him back there?
I think he probably did. So in a sense of fair play, we'll
Stick him somewhere
Yeah, because
nominally
Velker also,
useful.
on the first turn, he got delayed like an entire
yeah,
turn,
he
too,
lost a
right?
whole turn.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll stick him up there on a hill,
There you go.
looking.
Much better.
That
Look,
seems
yellow
logical.
smoke. Watched his left
That's-
wing get
And,
punched in.
in all fairness, that's where some of these rule sets get a little
So it's +2.
confusing, right? Because sometimes the
Oh, I hear his
commander-
footsteps. He's coming.
Okay.
Oh, here it comes.
We need your
Better.
die roll.
Better his die roll than mine.
It's
Oh,
just get in there and
this is what I gotta roll.
2d6. You need a 4 or better.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh dear.
I'm shocked.
Shot, shot.
You should not be.
The only thing I'm shocked about is he doesn't have cavalry to attack with,
True.
except for clearing the back.
Yeah, they're. He's got them. They're just not here.
Now there's a problem with that order.
What's that?
He's got to take his front guy and go straight this way.
Yeah.
So he's got to turn.
I don't.
Okay.
I think that's a feature.
Yeah.
I think I think that's completely what he had in mind. To be
We're
honest.
marching in line.
Yeah.
If that's what you're asking.
All he's got to do is turn. Basically, make a right face turn.
Yeah.
So, order
Sorry.
activations, do we have any others?
I don't think so. Anybody else got one? None.
Any to issue?
I would like to issue.
Yes.
Let me see. I'll issue one to this guy.
So can I try to issue out a rally and reform to Marlowe? Morlaw?
You can.
What does that do, David?
Funny that you should ask, Jim. So rally and reform is, yeah, you give it to him in the back in the cav. Yeah, that's a good choice. So in order to reform them, you perform that leader action. They go into that state, and then everybody closes down on the regulating unit effectively. So it allows you to relay those. Were you talking about reform stats? Or were you talking about the rally and reform leader action? You were talking about rally and reform leader action.
Oh, let me get in chat. Hold on.
He's talking about the order.
So there's a reform status. Or were you talking about rally a unit?
Mike?
I'm sorry, what's that?
Were you trying to remove units to remove fatigue? Or were you trying to rally units?
Sure.
Okay, so you've got reform and reorganize is a status change. Okay? So, and it's one that you can freely do, no test is required. You can just take away the break and apply reform and reorganize.
Okay.
So that's happy as can be. While they are on that reform status, you can pull stands, and every stand you remove from the game buys you 2 fatigue. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. Say that last little bit, just last bit about removing.
So if you remove this stand right here of Cav, your fatigue would go from 13 to 11.
Okay.
And naturally, over the course of the game, how does he get fatigue back?
Every turn that he is not threatened and not contacted by the enemy, 1 fatigue will go away.
Okay.
Question regarding that: does the stand you're removing have to be one in the reformation area?
No, it can be any stand.
Good, thank you.
If I want to change my objective, I'd like to issue an order, and I'd like to change my objective.
Sure. So you issue them both now, and then you would roll for them next turn.
Okay.
So I guess I'm just trying to. I guess I'm still trying to wrap my head around. Do I want it? Does it make sense then to try to issue this rally and reform order?
Because of how far gone your Cav are, it probably doesn't matter a whole heck of a lot.
Okay.
So you've got what, 7 stands total, including the gun, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So if you removed everything, it would remove a total of 14 fatigue, and you have 13 fatigue.
Okay.
So you could speed them up. It's not a terrible idea. I mean, but you're going to end up with maybe, it depends on how aggressive you want to be. So let's say that you removed half. Let's say that you removed 3 stands from your 7.
Okay.
You would reduce the 13 fatigue by 6 to 7.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So now, when would they, they're still in a terrible state, because then at that point they've got 7 fatigue and they've got 4 stands.
Right.
So
Alright.
no matter what, they're going to have to sit there for a really long time, probably longer than
Then the game
allows them to
lasts.
be useful.
Yep. Okay. So we'll just
But
take.
you can speed it up.
Yeah. We'll just. No, we just won't do it then. Slide it
Okay,
back.
but I'd like to reform.
James
Peter.
actually missed it by 1 point.
What happened?
James Lewitt is asking in the chat, isn't the Austrian division defeated by Kellerman's cavalry not in the status broken? He's saying it has 11 fatigue to 5 or 6 cohesion.
They've got 6, so they need 12 to be doubled.
Yeah, you would need. I felt that I believe we found out that they were 1 short. Because they had.
It's 150% is break.
And 150% is break. Haha, I didn't know that.
And then the
Sorry.
other.
It's 50% is withdraw, 100% is retreat, 150% is break.
So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Did we reverse that math? We reversed that math.
6. It's 6 to 11.
Yeah, so they're broken because their break point would be 9.
Oh.
Wrong.
Okay, time out.
I'm sorry, Ron, I threw a question for you in the chat real
Okay.
quick.
So, that then. So we have someone in the chat want to give a particular shout out to new guest. Is it James Ludit? Thank you so much. Good evening, DE.
James, thank you for keeping us all honest.
All right, so this
Wait,
formation is now.
Are we counting the ones that move back in this turn?
No, they were all shot.
They don't count.
Yeah, the routed ones don't count and the ployed ones don't count. It's
Yeah,
only
so it's
the
6 to
deployed.
11.
Okay, so what?
So this is
they all go
broken.
back to the reformation area, right?
What is
No,
that?
no. They don't go back. They don't have to flee back to the Reformation area, but instead of them converting like we did, we did our math backwards because I don't know, we're silly and
Guilty as
such,
charged.
but-
Silly as charged.
Velker wasn't around.
Yeah, Velker wasn't here to help us.
They were broken when they got hit the second time when they did their status check.
Yes. And
So
therefore,
the stands there forward, such as those, have to face away from the enemy, and instead of being on whatever they're on a broken status.
you are shunned like a Mennonite. What does it mean to be on a broken status, David?
You move first during movement. Conversions go before all regular movement, but after conversions, broken, retreat, and withdraw move. All of your units have to face away from the enemy. So if they get hit, they'll get hit in the back. And you have an involuntary move at half speed away from all threat. So basically, when the movement phase comes, if there's nobody to convert to hit him, which there won't be, because the only thing that could hit him is these cav, and right now they're already on attack. Can't convert to attack from attack. So this Austrian division will flee this direction a half move.
The whole bus backs up a half move.
Yeah. Away
Question.
from threat. So it'll end up
How
somewhere
do I
in this
stop
direction.
being broken?
Your fatigue has to get below the 150% level of your cohesion.
Holy cow.
That's why it might be, at least the Austrians, that it might be a good idea to actually sacrifice one or
I'm
two.
going. Yeah, that's what I plan to do anyway. Even
So
they
if-
can't-
you'll want you can
but they
change
can't-
them to
They can't convert to rally and reform until they get out of
you
it naturally.
you can change them to rally and reform. That's free. It costs you nothing.
Even while broken.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can just choose to do it as a leader action, and you can remove some stands. The other thing that you're going to care about doing during movement is deploying those last three,
Right.
I'll
because each one is another point of cohesion. So he can probably get there fairly fast. He's got 11 fatigue.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So he's 3 over. No, he's 2 over right now.
Yeah, he's 2 over 150%. He really wants to get him below 100%.
Yeah.
Because 100% is retreating, which is better. But he can put him on the reform status for free as a leader action after we do activation of orders and issuing of orders. So is there any more orders to issue?
Yeah, we should check that.
I issued one out to Kellerman just now also.
Okay.
Okay.
I issued my objective and gave an order to Guden.
And I'm done. I'm done. I get issued my order over here.
So then we are on to leader actions, and there are a handful that would probably be choice. One is that the Austrians, Daniel, can change
Hey, David.
this formation.
Just for the record, I know that I'm significantly older than you are. It's been a long time since I've heard anybody refer to something as choice. Just saying. Go ahead.
I still do it occasionally.
I'm a Gen Xer. We don't. I mean, no one counts us. We don't really. We just exist in this ethereal plane.
We've been skipped over. Got millennials and
Zoomers.
Gen Ys.
Anyway, you were saying things. Please proceed.
Okay, so leader action options. One of them, there are two that I suspect that are going to be important to consider doing. One is where is the Austrian force commander? Here?
Yes, here.
Yes. So he can take personal command of a formation within one movement. He just gets put next to its formation commander, either him or is the other guy actually on fire? He is. There we go. Or him. And then you get his stats in addition to the guy who's there. So that's one way to increase the cohesion of this formation, for instance. It's the other benefit, or to increase the cohesion of this formation. The other benefit is when you take personal command, you can issue new order directives and test for them out of sequence.
Do you want to?
Okay.
Do you want us to do that for Kellerman here? Or do you want?
So, for instance, who is the Austrian commander? Come on, give me my tooltip.
It's Rosenberg.
Rosenberg. So Rosenberg could go take personal command of either one of these Austrian divisions. He could issue a new order, and he could roll for it right now. And in addition to getting his regular stats for cohesion and such, when he's in personal command, his rating for command tests is doubled.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah, so let me take personal command over Dieter's division.
Sure.
And is there a roll for that, or is it automatic?
No, it is free. So long as it's within one movement, you just go there and do it.
There he goes.
And you're definitely within a movement, so you can just pick him up, set him next to Dieter.
I
So-
see no problems.
Now, just so that we've got a couple of different concerns for this formation, right? So one is its cohesion. What's Rosenberg's cohesion stat?
+2.
Okay, so you get him on top of Dieter. So now their cohesion just went from You know, Jim, I love the smoke, except I can't. I keep maneuvering around it so I can see, and it follows me just like real smoke does at a fire outside. There we go. Thank you very much.
I think they're now at.
So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're up to 8, correct? Cohesion for for Dieter's division. So that made life a little bit better. You can also take him off a broken and put him on a reform status if you want.
I do want to reform, yeah.
And then that also allows you to pull stands and drop fatigue. And every stand you pull will drop 2 fatigue.
Okay, so I'm gonna do that.
And you can pull any stand you want. You can pull the ones that are routed.
Ooh.
So the rally leader action, is it per stand? You have to roll?
Yes. Yes. And the negative for cohesion is based on your ratio. So you just removed 3 stands, so your cohesion went down to 5, right? Or sorry, your cohesion didn't go down to 5. Your fatigue went down to 5, right?
Right.
So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cohesion points and 5 fatigue. You're going to be -3 on your command test for fatigue. It's -1 at 25%. It's -2 at 30%. It's -3 at 50%. And there
He
you
is
be.
shoveling guys off the field.
So I'm back down to 1 fatigue.
Okay.
And then I want to do a rally for these 2.
Go for it.
What is it? A single die?
It is a 2 die. It's a regular command test. You get yourself twice. So what's Rosenberg's
4.
command?
He's
Yeah.
he's
2
a 2
points.
so far.
So 4 plus you get your subordinate.
So 5 plus 5?
So 5. And you are not under threat. You don't no longer have enough fatigue to matter.
So
It's
4th,
automatic.
1st, and 7th. Next.
Yeah, so it's automatic.
Oh, it's automatic.
Because you can't. You're within 2.
And where do
Okay,
they go?
They go to the back of these stands, right? So they'll go behind this one here.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay. And then I go to 1. Perfect.
Yes. The other thing that you should do.
And I want to reform the other division too.
Wait.
They're under threat though.
Yeah, they're under threat.
They're not right. You can't.
Never mind. Never mind.
I would tell you that's dicey as all get out. You should probably not do that. But you should commit your artillery battery.
He's okay. He's not
Because
he's not
you get
numbered. He's
yourself-
unlimbered.
What's that? He's in reserve, right? He was at the end of the column.
No. It's Dieter's. Are you talking about? Oh, this.
I'm talking about Dieter's artillery.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, let's
Because
make
you
the
could
artillery.
drop it right here, for instance.
Let's do that then. So I'm a +5, right?
Yeah, so you can't fail.
Roger.
I was waiting for you to get done, but that's what I wanted to do too. Is commit my artillery battery here. How's that go again? It's 1.
It's a command test, so it is your force commander, your rating plus your subordinate's rating.
Oh, it is
and
that
then-
one. Okay.
Assuming you're within a mile of them, which you are.
Right.
Can't fail.
You'll subtract 2 if either one of you is threatened, which St. Hilaire is.
Never mind.
Now I have to push this reformation back to 12, right?
Correct.
So that's 6. That's 7. -2 because of being threatened.
Yes, and how much fatigue does St. Hilaire's division have? Is that 25%?
I'm at 1.
Oh,
So
yeah,
no.
you're not.
So
Does not make a difference.
So 5.
What was
So
your
I needed 2.
net?
So
Which is what
So you
rolled.
can't fail.
yeah. So when you commit, you can put it anywhere along the side of your unit. Is that what it is?
You get 1 movement. It has to end its movement cohesive with the rest of the stands. And you can either leave it limbered or unlimber it. If you leave it limbered, you have the option of moving it during movement. If you unlimber it, it is stuck there until you make this same roll again to limber it up.
I would also like to deploy a gun from Morant here. So
Go for it.
So it's
Oh, you are going to run into a little bit of trouble that you should be aware of. I don't know how much you care. Hey, Jim, is the stream in this rough? Or is it dense? I think it's rough, isn't it?
Yeah, that would be you who wrote the scenario.
Yeah, but I mean, you're running the scenario. You set
understand.
the thing.
I'm pretty sure it was rough. Honestly, I thought it was rough, and only the stuff was the trees were dense.
Streams are rough terrain. Fords are open. I looked it up. So going over the stream, you pay double, and going through any friendlies, you pay double. So that's what you should be mindful when you commit that.
And then when you combine it all, it's really embarrassing.
This Marlaw
Oh, wait,
artillery can't unlimber. Is that correct?
So right now it's in reserve. You've got to make your leader action roll or your command test roll in order to commit it.
But
and the problem is he's got so much fatigue.
That's fine.
Can't make
That's
it.
fine. Not a problem.
I will wait.
I want to displace this artillery, or recall it actually.
This one here.
Yeah.
So this is, especially since this is a learning game, I'll leave it up to you guys as far as mulligans and such. So leader actions are done until you fail one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Joining a formation is free. Leaving a formation is not free. When you are personally commanding a formation, you don't get your stats when targeting a different formation because you're busy. So you can either say that you made that roll first,
but if he fails,
before you ran over here, well, if he fails, you can still do the ones that don't require a test.
Oh, well, then it doesn't matter. Yeah.
That's why I asked about the mulligan.
Well,
we can do it afterwards.
So you could assume that you did first if people are cool.
Yeah, no, I have no problem with him doing it. I mean, especially since he could do it anyway.
Yeah. It's perfectly legal to do this first and then run over there.
Even if he
fails, we were kind of focused on what happens with this. But so you do it when you were over here, you'd be 2, this guy's another 1, you're under threat, so you are a +1. They've got 6 fatigue too, a cohesion of 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they are at 50%, so they're going to be -3 for their fatigue. So I believe that puts you at net -2 on your roll.
Yep.
So you need a 9 or better in order to get that done.
Nope.
That gun is just stuck.
It hasn't moved. Since you got it there, it hasn't moved all night.
Not a bad thing. I'm going to have to move back anyways, so it's going to be actually going to be in the front after this move.
All right. Any further order stuff? Well, we have leader actions, actually. Anything at all?
I'm clear.
So I think we are on to threat assessment for the movement phase.
Yep.
Yep.
Here, you guys should add up some points and see what there is. Here, I think it's pretty.
Well, they have a gun. But...
Actually, the Austrians should make their roll over here because they So they've got 2 points. Do either one of the Austrian commanders have a? How far is that? That's over 6. Do they have a long-range threat value?
Nope, not long range.
No,
Rosenberg
it's just-
does not.
Nope.
So then that'll be 2 minus 1, so it's 1 point plus a die. The max you could get is 7, but the cohesion that they are facing is 1, 2, 3, 6, 7 minus 6. It's 1. The Austrians should definitely roll that shot.
Jeez Louise, with the dice.
Oh,
2.
so that was this one over here.
Yeah.
So you have a total of 2, but
Yeah.
the French are at cohesion of
You said 1.
4, right? No, less than 4
Of
because
1.
you did 1. So you doubled them. They don't take any combat losses because they're not in contact, but they have to evade the threat and they take 2 fatigue. So you popped them up to 5.
Okay.
So that's you, OJ.
And
So-
then they have to back
What-
out of 12.
So, question: how is it that he took a shot at me if artillery can't do more than 2 fatigue?
Oh,
I was already at 3 fatigue.
you're right. My bad.
Okay.
Yeah, the only way that would work is if he had the other infantry was in range of infantry.
Yep. Or more guns.
Right.
Yes. No, you're correct. He can't
Okay.
he can't up it enough because it is capped.
Score 1 for OJ.
I have a some situation that actually kind of comes up like that over here because I've got 4 from my infantry here, and then this gun here is also threatening.
Sorry, Daniel. I was just confused.
Oh no, that's fine.
on how
We-
that
we
works.
just gotta get it right. We gotta get it right. No worries.
Richard has
I'm
declared.
happy because it means people are paying attention and getting it.
Richard has declared that the Austrians have become Aztecs, offering human sacrifice in exchange for morale.
That's right.
So, who did we think had some shots?
I've got 1, 2, 2.5, 4. Plus, and if OJ wants to throw this in, we have a gun.
Yep. Throw it in.
Because now he can actually inflict more because there's infantry shooting.
So that's 2,
Yeah, that one's too far.
These 2 are, so
3.
Yep.
they're both at
So
These guys
3
should be-
points plus the
4,
2
5.
from. Yeah.
This should be 1, 2. These guys are both Legere. So
Yeah, those are
Legere.
both
Right.
each.
So they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No.
Or sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the commander, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
And then, did we also combine that with this gun, or they roll separately?
Well, no, it's
They
know,
they
like, dice
count up to their dice separately, but it all gets summed at the end.
Right.
So you'll have 5 points plus
D6.
1 die, and he'll have 2 die or 2
die.
points plus 1 die. So you're at 7 points and 2 dice.
Okay. So I roll my 1 die and add 5 then?
5.
6.
Do you want to roll your gun, MJ?
Yeah. 1 dice.
Mhm.
Is that right? 3.
5. 5 and 5.
No, 5 and 6.
Oh, 5 and 6, yeah. So total
11.
11.
One,
What's cohesion on the Austrian side for Velker?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Amazing.
6, 7,
That's what
8,
it is.
9. Plus 10 minus 2, 8. If I'm doing my math correctly.
So it's a multiple of 1. He takes a fatigue. He
Yep.
doesn't apply any combat losses because it's not combat.
Okay.
Let me do this again. So he's
Well, you're not going to get to 2 no matter
yeah,
what you
I'm not
do.
gonna get to 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's inflicted fatigue, which I will take
Yep.
happily.
So,
Fatigue is not a big deal. Not a big deal. Not a big deal.
And then
Holy
it's-
crap! Why did the world fall
I
apart?
think he's got 1 to throw at me here. Well, plus his commander.
is it 1? Yeah. So, Velker, you've got a total of these 2
Yeah.
plus your commander. So that is...
Which is
that's-
0 actually. So,
He's a 0. That's
But then
1
he's-
plus
So-
a d6.
but please.
And he needs it to add up to half in order to get an assessed result. So your cohesion is 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
So he needs to get to 4.
A 3 or
Does
better.
his- Wait,
3 or
does
better.
fatigue? Does his fatigue count? Subtract from that, or is he?
Oh yes, it does. He had 2.
He had 1.
He took.
No, he
Or he had 2. Yeah, that's right.
He
Sorry.
had 2.
He just
Two
took
fatigue.
1. Right.
Yeah, so he had
So
2
he
fatigue.
had 2. He was at. You can't go below 0. So he was flat plus his die. What was the roll?
5.
5.
5.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got 5 points. That adds up to half of you.
Mm-hmm.
He does. He
So you
fatigues
take a fatigue.
him. And then I guess over here.
Yeah, right here.
Where's that? Sorry. Give me a ping. Thank you.
But
One
these are plus 0 though.
ping only.
1 ping only.
No, it's
They're
0.5.
halves.
They're 0.5.
Oh, okay.
Except the
one.
Legere if they're in range.
Yeah, these are halves. The Legere are 1s. So that's
I think
5
this
up
guy-
the front row.
This guy has a shot. I'm not sure this guy does.
This guy does it. Just this guy does.
So 1, 2,
2, 2.5. Plus, I think it's 3 with this one because I think it's mid range for this gun.
It's under 6.
All right.
So plus 3. So that was what? 4, 5.5.
Mm-hmm.
plus
Plus
commander.
1 die. Does the
Commander.
and the commander, does he have? I hate that tooltips are not coming up for me for some reason.
He's got a, yeah,
Pre-crash
he's
they
got a
came
2.
up.
He's got a 2 at that range.
He's got 2 at 6, and they're both under 6, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Then that's the one you applied. If the artillery was at greater than 6 and he had a pip there, he would add that as well.
So that's 7.5 total,
Yep.
which comes to 7 because you round down.
Correct.
So
Ah.
8.
1. That might assess him anyway. 1, 2, 3,
It'll assess him no matter what.
7,
It's whether you equal 1.
8, 9.
Nope.
Doing math. The gun's part with him, right?
9,
You got
10.
the gun.
Minus 6 is 4.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Forgot
What's the
that.
commander?
That's 2 to 1.
Commander gets him to 5. So yeah, that is. You got a. What do you roll? An 8?
Yep.
8.
Commander gets him to 5, so it's only a 1.
Yep. It's 8 to 5.
Oh, yeah, because of him. Okay.
Had you rolled anything but a 1 run?
Yeah, I know, right?
So he goes up to 7.
That's not nothing. They're already retreating.
Yeah.
So what do they get to do?
They're coming back with a die.
1.
Yeah, because the fatigue is
The-
gonna wash everything.
Yeah, that's going to reduce their points to 0, but
Yeah.
they still get their die.
Yeah.
And then the question is, how much fatigue does the French have right now?
One.
Just one.
Just the one.
And what's their cohesion?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Is it
can't-
13?
13, yep. Can't get
So
it.
he can't cause an assessment result
Right.
because he can't get at least 50%.
Right. All right.
Then we are on to conversions, I believe.
I should think.
The cavalry are not threatened, right? The Kellerman's cavalry. They
Right.
can convert to defend. Since they're not threatened by anybody.
That might be a good call. Oh, they are threatened by the gun,
The threat.
Oh.
Yeah, the threat by the gun.
So
but they can't. The gun can't inflict more fatigue on them, but it can threaten them.
right now they're on attack, right?
Right.
Yes.
So attack, regardless of what type of troop you are, can convert to withdrawal if it is threatened. Cavalry can convert to defend if they are not threatened. So he can't convert to defend, but he can convert to withdraw if you want to get them out of there.
That might. What do you think, OJ?
He's fully deployed at this point, right?
Yep.
No, he's not.
Oh,
He's
no,
got
these guys
three
here?
left.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, the
He's got
Austrians
those
are
three.
not.
But he's got one fatigue, and he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cohesion,
Yeah, but
and not a lot of frontage.
The problem is we have lots of fatigue, we're down 6 if we go in.
Yeah. You're down 6 if you go in, and you're only going to be able to hit with what? Maybe 3 stands?
Yeah,
Maybe
it's
4?
not a good idea.
Yeah.
I could. Yeah.
No.
Let's withdraw.
No. And that's ultimately what I was wanting to do, is to pull back here and maybe shake off 1 or 2 fatigue if possible.
So
Or
So
wait till
if
we
you
have-
want to
or
convert
wait until
those,
there's
you-
more- Yeah.
If you want to convert them, you do it right now, and they move right now.
Okay. Yes.
all right.
That goes away. Oh,
You do not convert to defend. You convert to withdraw.
to withdraw.
Yes. Did I say defend?
No. Mike was thinking. Mike had
I-
intended to order them to defend.
Gotcha.
And so I
I mean, he
go
could
back,
choose to not convert them, and then at the top of the next turn, he could roll for that activation. But
No.
if he wants to extricate them, this is
No,
the
well-
opportunity.
Right. And so they move half move back toward the Reformation.
Half move back away from all threat, and the Reformation area will
Away
Follow
from
them.
all threat.
Which is this
right
guy.
because you've got threat here and you've got threat here, right?
Right.
So this threat goes out to 6.
So not very far, but
So while it's not terribly far, you don't want to move into that.
Would that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
just remember to leave some room for my infantry.
Well, I'm kind of limited on what I can do right at the moment.
Well, your other option would be a move into that pocket,
Yeah, your option would be go that way, and then I could.
which
swing out.
might actually be I mean, it depends on how quickly you want them to be available again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that'd probably be the best action right now.
Come back this way.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not going to be causing problems for.
No, because
No,
I'm not intending to shoot that way. I'm intending to come in this direction.
This is that still live? Yeah, that's still
That-
live.
That's
No,
that's my
that's
new
the new
objective.
one.
That's my new objective. So that's where I'm going to
Okay.
be headed. That's where I'm going to be headed, OJ. Just to let you know. That
That's
gives you
fine.
an
Because
idea of my
this was your old one.
Yeah, that's my old one. That's
Gotcha.
mine for this turn still. So
Gotcha.
Does this cavalry pivot then on its base like that?
Yeah, it may.
And then falls? Okay.
yeah, facing, you can do whatever you want.
Facing is incredibly
Not bad.
liquid. When you are moving a stand, it is incredibly liquid.
Since this guy's a move, He was now threatened. Does he convert to defend now?
Who's this? Oh, because he is threatened? Yes, he does.
Okay.
He converts to defend right now.
Let me take care of that then. While I'm thinking about it. Which I'm okay with.
And then
But
does my artillery and my reformation don't have to move because they're still within 12, right?
Your reformation area does,
It
because
does.
it's always behind your center,
Gotta
and it's
go
a
back.
foot back here. So it's, yeah, right about
And then the cavalry
there-ish.
has to limber and move.
The artillery stays where it is.
The artillery stays. All right.
until you
Yep.
recall it.
Gotcha. Okay.
And he goes back here, and your little withdrawal goes with you.
Yep. Without going through the units. There we go. All right. It's all
So
moved
these
out now.
converted to defend.
defend.
These converted to a defend, because what are they on? They're at 2 of, but they are not threatened. Yep. Okay. These are on withdrawal right now, correct? And they are still threatened. So they move. They'll move first. Do we have any other conversions?
I don't think so.
I think that's it.
So then these withdrawing guys will move.
And then withdraw a half move.
They move at half speed away from all threat. They don't. So at this point, you want to get them all outside of threat, basically. But it's your this isn't an involuntary conversion, right? So when they convert to withdrawal due to a status change, they all have to fall back. Here you're moving your regulating unit, and then you're aligning everybody so that they're cohesive.
But every base has to move 8 inches.
No.
Okay.
So that's what I was just saying when I said when they convert to withdraw or convert to retreat or convert to break, they've all got to make that move. When they are on that status, you move regularly, you grab your regulating unit, you relocate it, and then you move everybody to be cohesive.
Because it's quite possible that, as Daniel had pointed out earlier, you can move this guy in such a way that these guys don't move much at all.
Could. You're going to stay on withdrawal.
Sure.
Only the regulating unit has to go back 8 inches. The rest of them can move their full move, as long as they stay in cohesion.
They can. The whole thing only moves at half.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So
you can't.
But they all just have to stay cohesive.
Okay. So you basically want to get a regulating. I got it. I know what I'm gonna do. Okay. So this is.
Yeah, Jim, to your point, the question becomes, where do you want to give up ground in order to get in a better position? Because they're not going to convert to defend until you get them out of threat.
Yeah, you shouldn't move the base off the map, though.
I'm trying to.
I know what you're trying to do, and I ain't gonna let you.
I can't get back in game for some reason. I like tabbed out because of Steam.
F1.
F1 doesn't work. Let me try and close this. Never mind. I found it. Click here to return to game. I guess I have to block that artillery. That's never gonna move.
Well, you could drop him here-ish, couldn't you?
Yeah, I could.
I don't know how much movement you used, I didn't see.
Yeah, I moved a full 8, so. Yeah, no worries. I gotta move that back too.
Just one heck of a withdrawal. Speaking of which, okay, they've already done it. These guys, David, you're telling me they got to be 48 inches away from threat?
They have to be a full mile,
Oh,
which
a mile.
is 24.
Okay. They're fine where they are then.
24. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else on a withdrawal order? I know these guys already moved. Okay. These guys. What order are these guys on? Rally and Reform?
They're on rally and reform, and their cohesion versus their threat is happy. So we're in conversions. They should be going to defend.
Ah.
Because their fatigue to cohesion ratio is very happy now. They got rid of all of the unpopular people.
They engaged in Aztec-y behavior. Okay. So we go to people who are on attack orders, right?
So we did all of our conversions,
Yep.
and then these guys moved because they were on a withdrawal, and these guys are they 2 feet away?
Yes.
They are.
Yes. So they don't have to do anything. Yeah, we go to attacks. So who is on an active attack order?
Hey, Velker, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm waiting in my line.
No,
My 3-mile long
it's
line.
actually that guy's on defend. It's this guy.
These guys are not waiting. in
No,
line.
and again, just to remind, they got to go straight that way.
Okay, so do they just turn?
So now, Velker, you have a decision point.
Decision
Well, they
point.
have to go, they're ployed.
Right now, you are ployed, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
When you are ployed on an attack order, you may choose to remain stationary during the movement phase and deploy your maximum number of units.
So
So if you want to go, you can go, and then you deploy after you get there. Or you can deploy so that you're in battle order and go next turn. It is your choice.
So during deployment, he would be able to just completely deploy the column?
No, well, he still has to roll for it. He just has to take the max.
when you say take the max, what do you mean?
I mean that normally, let's say he rolls 4 units.
Yeah.
It's a may. You may deploy up to 4 units. If he chooses to sit here right now because he's on an attack order and instead roll to deploy, he must deploy.
What's the
total
downside
number.
of him turning sharply to the right, advancing a little bit closer, and then deploying?
He won't advance a little bit closer. He'll hit him, won't he?
Because you gotta go your full max.
And the stands that are contacted can't deploy
Right.
because they're frozen.
So I'll turn here then, I suppose.
Well, what he's
So
saying is,
if he
you
hits
freeze.
them in a deployed march column, he won't be able to deploy.
Yeah, that's
effectively.
certainly nothing he wants to do.
Oh, it'd be bad news bears.
Yeah, that's
You
highly
can't-
undesirable.
The issue is effectively you can't fight in a march column, right? You're 4 men wide, maybe on a road,
Right.
8 men wide.
So what David is saying is you're going to sit here until the deployment phase, which is right after movement, and then you're going to roll for deployment and start shooting out this way.
Right.
Now, if the French were outside of a move, then he might choose to shoot that direction
Right.
one full move and deploy at the end of it, right?
Right. All right. Other attack
So,
orders? He's going to park and turn.
Okay. Anybody else? Attack.
It's all of our attack orders, I think.
Then we are on everybody else. Defenders who are within. Defenders can move to contact with the enemy if they want. They just have to remain cohesive.
I don't think I want to at this point. How? My deployment is still to roll at this point, right?
Yeah, you roll
What
for your
I-
deployment after you move.
What are my movement limitations as a defender?
Your reformation area is frozen,
Hmm.
so it is going to stay right there.
That sucker is a boat
And-
anchor.
Yep. Everybody else has to stay cohesive with it, which means you either have to be, this column, because when you're deployed, the reformation area is the backmost unit. So this column is stuck exactly where it is, except for any stands that deploy out.
Can I back
These
up? Or do I just
deployed
sprint?
battle waves here have to be either within 225 yards of the column or within 900 yards of the reformation area.
Okay, and I can't back up.
You can. You just have to stay. Well, the column can't move.
Right.
The column is stuck. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say that quite like that. It could move laterally. But for it to back up, the reformation area would have to back up, and the reformation area is a boat anchor. So you could move the snake laterally with the tail pinned to the floor. Or you could leave that put and deploy in place. These stands can move up to their full movement, but they have to remain cohesive with this or with this. That makes sense?
Makes sense. I'm gonna do something like this.
What you doing, Ron? I'm coming to look.
Just reforming the line. And then these guys are on move order over here.
What you doing, Daniel?
Just turning my guys around. I can't move.
Just turning so you're not mooning the French.
So now here's a question for you, Daniel. So your reformation area is anchored, right?
Right.
Since you're
So
on
that's
defense.
yeah, that guy right there is my what do you call it?
Regulating unit.
Regulating unit. Yeah.
So, and you can pick anybody, but he has to. Well, actually, your regulating unit, yeah, is one of these guys, right? Because
Right.
it's got
Right.
to be somebody within 12. Everybody else just has to stay cohesive with them. You could lay these out here. You could. I guess what I'm saying is, if you wanted to, you could give up ground in order to relay them out. Otherwise, you could also leave the minimum back and you could push some forward just so long as they stay cohesive. Your artillery acts as a long bridge, right? You could have, if this is your regulating unit, it's right next to the artillery battery. Everybody else could array themselves off of the front of the artillery since they're cohesive with it. So you could operate in this space here
Right.
if you wanted to be that forward. Otherwise, you could also fall back with the notion that you'd be pulling back your artillery and adjusting it in the future.
I have, yeah, well, I have the supporting unit to fill this gap here, so I'm gonna kind of stretch it out.
Sure.
So that supporting unit can move now, Daniel, if you wish to. I don't know if you wish
Okay.
to. So, Chrono, are you done? Or are you
Yes.
still? Okay.
I've done everything I want to do.
Mike,
But
you
I
got
can't do.
something to do?
I want to do some deployment, but that comes later. So
No, I don't have anything I can do.
Okay, so you're no
Because
longer
Kellerman,
so
because
he
Kellerman already
is no
withdrew.
longer under threat, so he converts automatically to withdraw to defend.
During a conversion step.
Okay.
So right now we're in moves, right?
Yeah. Got
So
it.
he's not going to convert until the bottom of combat.
Got it.
Calvary's done its job for the day. They're going back to the
Indeed.
tavern.
All right. Valkyr's doing that.
The French got a huge amount of mileage out of their cav.
Which is why they're going back to the tavern to practice their witching maneuvers.
The dragoons are going to go argue with the hussars about who did a better job.
There you go.
As long as there's enough beer to go around, they don't care. And yes, the dragoons did do the better job.
That's not to hear the hussars tell it.
The dragoons ended up taking what, 12 points off the table?
So I'm like, well, it's all sitting here.
Yeah.
I thought I took
Yeah.
the casualties. And...
Yeah, they're up here.
wiped out 3 dragoon regiments and 2 infantry regiments.
Those are
I
squadron
mean, more or less.
groups.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
They're-
more
they're
or
not-
less.
There's
didn't
a
attack-
regiment that they took out of Austrian dragoons.
Right. I mean, granted, they didn't single-handedly do it all, but they forced the
follow up.
Austrians.
They gave
they
their
forced them-
support.
What's that?
They gave their support.
Mm-hmm.
They punched out an entire Austrian division.
Definitely weakened that division by quite a bit.
So, David, in a case like this, where that obviously is not supposed to be here. Well, he's on defense, so it is stuck there, isn't it?
Yeah. It's stuck there. And then, I mean, we're off by a half an inch,
Yeah,
I
I'm
think,
not worried
depending
about
on
that.
how I'm measuring, but whatever. So here's his regulating unit,
Yeah.
and then everybody else is
Has to-
daisy chaining off of that.
That's a good example. That's a really good example.
And he doesn't have no options, right? His problem is really the terrain in that little corridor because he's stuck in that little narrow defile. Now, at the moment, the narrow defile is kind of a good thing because it meant that the French Cav weren't going to charge him again because there wasn't enough space for them to get enough weight in for it to be a good idea.
Yeah, some jerk told me to plant trees there.
Everyone likes trees. It's a happy little tree.
Explain that to those dragoons.
All right.
I mean, the dragoons could go in the woods if they want. It's just that their cohesion drops to 25%.
It drops to half.
No, it drops to a quarter
Oh, does it?
for cav.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, cavalry and artillery in bad terrain is well,
bad.
It's embarrassing.
It is. They feel foolish.
My dragoons are happy to fall back, regain some fatigue while Run punches the first division of Austrian Second Corps in the mouth some more.
I want to start deploying again. How do we go about doing
Well,
that?
I want to make sure we're done with moves.
Do we have any
Are we
others?
done?
I'm done.
I'm
Yeah.
done.
I'm done,
All right.
except for deployment.
All right, Velker, why don't we do yours first?
All right.
Just because you got 2 you're dealing with here.
And I've got a question for Velker. I don't know what order these guys are on, but do they want to, assuming that they can, do they want to move up?
They're on a move.
Oh, they can go around here.
Would you like to move them around?
Oh.
I'm just thinking that there's a big,
Yeah.
Even though, okay, so they can just
So
now,
they're
even though
going-
their
going
objective
through-
is even though their objective is here,
Yep,
but because they're on a move, okay,
they can avoid bad terrain.
and
They can also follow a road. Now, in this case, they won't be following a road because they're stepping off of a road. But, and this is not something that's explicitly in the text, but we treat, other friendly units as effectively bad terrain.
that's logical.
But even on this move, they've got until here that they're avoiding bad terrain.
So do you want to?
I would like to, yes.
All right, shove it out. All right, so while he's doing that,
24?
what's this?
They get 24.
24, yep. That'll move that line up a little bit. Chrono, you said you had some deploying.
I have this column and I have this column. So he's a 1 doubled to a 2. They're in the column. That's a +2, -1 from fatigue.
Is that?
Uh,
I don't think it doubles to a 2.
Well,
It's
he's
just
commanding
him.
himself, right?
Where are we
that's
figuring
that's
out?
only if you're changing an objective. Yeah, it's just
Climbing.
what does he get for command? You'd think we'd remember this by now, as we've done it a number of times. Yeah,
Where are we? Where are we looking at? Ping someplace.
right there.
Okay. And what are we
So
doing?
He's a +1. He wants to deploy. He's on a road, so it's a +2.
Gotcha.
And he's a command +1, but that's what he gets, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Does he eat? And then no fatigue, so it's a +3.
Nope.
So it's 2d6 +3.
2d6, okay.
2d6 +3, cut in half, round down.
3.
6, 3.
That's almost exactly what I wanted.
Ta-da.
What do you have? There you go.
Who else had some deploying they wanted to do?
I do. Well, let Valkyr go first.
All right,
I'm
Valkyr.
done with my move, so.
You got this. You got this right here.
Well, I got these two first.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's you're on a road. +3.
Wait, no, it's these three. Right?
Yeah, 2d6 +3. You should get everybody for a change. Yeah, it's 5. So you may now deploy everybody.
That's 5. He has 7 units there. He's got. I'll have 2 left.
Oh,
No,
he was
he gets
doing
he gets the last two.
he was doing
He's only
light.
got 1, 2, 3, 4,
Oh.
and he
Oh,
gets
fine.
the last one for free.
Can I move
No, that's
He's
a whole
he's
other
got the
column.
other one to do as well, but
He's doing
he
this
was
one.
doing this. He was doing Lang for or
Yeah,
was it Lang?
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Those guys get their full move.
To deploy? I thought they got 3.
No, they get 3 inches.
Even the guys that are already deployed.
Oh, they were
yeah,
supposed to
during
move up the
sorry
movement
during
phase.
movement.
Yeah,
yes,
during
they
movement
get
they would have gotten
full-
their full
yeah,
move.
yeah. I thought you were saying that guys deploying.
No, the guys deploying. Yeah, that's 3 inches. Be a little careful because you got to back him up a little bit.
Yeah. To maintain cohesion there. I mean, you could bump this guy the way another inch out of that.
Yeah, we can get the general. The general's going to move anyway. Yeah, he's going
Because
to.
there's no column left now, right?
Right.
Right. And then these guys.
Hang on a second. What happens now? This goes here. That goes there. And that has to go to the back center, so it's 12 inches back, so it's here. Almost. There. And he goes back with it.
Makes sense.
Now these boys are a different matter. +1, +3. 2d6 +3. Cut in half.
Why is this guy way back here?
Does he not go back with the Reformation area?
No, he sits with the artillery.
Okay. Shoot.
He goes in that reserve area that's
You
directly
rolled
behind.
You rolled a 9, right, Vulcan?
Like this guy is.
12 divided by 6.
6, yep.
That's most of it.
It's a good number.
I'm gonna step away for 2 minutes. Be right back.
How many did he get?
6 total.
9. Max of 5.
Up. There it is. And you may
Minimum
move
of
them
2
3
max.
inches if you wish.
Yeah, they can all step forward 3.
It's a lot of grenadiers.
Put the cap back on the bottle.
I think this is where I would want my Austrian grenadiers.
Well, I didn't know this is how this would all shape up.
Alright.
I think it's nice to have some grenadiers going after this big chunk of guys.
It's a big chunk of guys. Any other,
Yeah, I'm deploying.
where are you?
Mine's a -2 over here.
Why are you a -2? What have you done wrong?
Well, +1.
Mm-hmm.
I moved my full movement, which is a -3.
there it is.
So
I'm up
you
in
not
terrain,
stand
so
still.
Minimum of 2.
And then I like to do some deploying here.
all right, done.
Go
In
for
what
it.
way does it feel like when you found it?
And
+1.
Velker, if you want, you can deploy these guys as well.
Oh, they're on a road. They're on a road.
I don't know if you want to yet or not,
I'm
but you
really
can.
wrong with that.
Okay.
6, 7, 3.
Yep.
That's it.
Any other deployments? I think we're done, right?
I have my deployments.
All right, where is that?
First is Dieter, which is +5, 2 for the road, 3 for the commanders.
It's 2 dice damage.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right, that's 3 plus 3. So
Yeah.
I
It's,
have 3.
yeah, it's everybody.
So kind of have to daisy chain these guys.
They may have to deploy in place, basically, to keep that chain going.
The artillery will bridge it.
What?
So the artillery bridges from the guy in the back all the
Well,
way up to here.
I meant I meant back to their
Reformation
rally
area.
Reformation.
Yeah,
area.
so
Yeah.
this guy he won't
Yeah.
want to move. The other two
Yeah, that's
he
what I
can
meant.
fan.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're right.
That's fine. No, as long as they're all deployed. And then I have Saigon to deploy. He's a
You got to make sure you're
Plus-
putting your commanders back because where they are does matter.
oh, true. Sorry. So he's a +1, and he's on the road, so he's a +3.
And is majority of the formation it's avant-garde. You should get an extra die for rapid deployment.
Okay.
Why won't it?
So you should have 3. Same as Cav.
Roger.
That's 5.
And how many you got?
6.
The max 5.
Oh,
anyway,
you get them all. Yes, but the last one is always free.
Oh, that's true.
Maximum of 5, minimum of 2. Final unit is automatic. So you're not trying to trace one unit around, remembering that it's deployed.
Did we disconnect?
Yep,
We
I
crashed
just
out.
got dropped.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I look away for half a second and it does the bad thing.
You can't be doing that. You have to monitor it
At all
the time.
times.
That's your job, Jim.
Time is it? It is 9:52.
I'm a game designer, not a Steam monitor, Jim.
Telling you what. Weird that we'd lose it so late.
Kidding.
We lost it at like this exact same time last
you
time.
know, we're gonna lose 2 minutes on this one, so folks are gonna have to pay some attention. Server's back.
Probably just my deployment, but let's see.
Yeah, it looks like.
I'm coming back in.
There you are.
Yeah, it's not too bad. So while Daniel does that, and we ploy and deploy, there's not going to be anybody in range for combat, is there?
Don't think so.
Over Velker and Chrono, maybe?
No,
Yeah,
that's
right.
that's
What?
movement fire. That's different.
Gotcha.
I'm talking
The
combat.
yeah, I don't think so because I was wondering if the Saint Hilaire's artillery
No.
would do it, but it's out.
Therefore,
No, I think we've actually reached a lull.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I was thinking about that sort of reflecting on the overall flow of the rules, you had this massive fight between here and here, all the way to the side of the board, and they've bounced back. The
Right.
Austrians
this
Austrians got
line
punched
got
in the
busted
face
up, but
and reeled backwards.
the Austrians aren't in that bad a shape, though.
No, but they lost that round. It's just a round.
Right, exactly. And the problem, this division is problematic for the Austrians, right? But they've got two coming online.
Okay.
So that takes us to threat, status, and recovery. So theoretically, Mike gets a point here, right?
Yep.
Look at that. Now it's only 12.
The Austrians here pick up one. The Austrians here pick up. Everybody pick. Well, Velker doesn't, and Moran doesn't.
Does Kellerman pick up one?
I think so. I don't think anybody's
No threat.
threatening him, right?
So this Dieter shouldn't have any, and then he goes to 6.
Correct.
Oh, so I dropped my fatigue then, huh?
Yeah.
Six. And he goes away entirely.
Does Lang have none?
So I'm still
I thought
threatened.
Lang had one.
Yeah. Lang's back here.
Lang's back here.
Oh, there it is. Yep, you're right.
He's still in range of bad.
'Cause he's strung through the village. Yeah.
So I'm no longer in threat, so this converts.
Mayor? Yes.
To a defend.
So I dropped them from 7 to 6. All right, everybody
And
else.
Kellerman will convert to defend.
Okay.
Because there's nobody threatening him.
All right. So since that is recovery, status, and conversions, that's end of turn, correct?
Correct.
Whew. Well, that was a lot. My goodness. My head is full. It's also been 4 hours at it, lads, so that's where we usually do call it. Now we have a conundrum. A conundrum!
There's
We have a
never conundrums.
We are conundrumed because, and here's why we are conundrumed. I had planned to start our D-Day Rommel game next weekend, but we're clearly not done here. We have story left to tell. Do the folks want to come back for next week and go one more, or what do you want to do?
You know my answer.
I don't have any plans. It's Memorial Day weekend. I don't have any plans as it stands, but obviously if that changes, I will let you know ahead of time.
Sure.
So I can make it unless something comes up.
All right. Oh,
I wouldn't mind continuing ESR though.
What's that?
I wouldn't mind continuing this.
All right. Chrono?
Did we lose Chrono?
No, he's here. You just can't hear him. I see his hand dancing about.
I have my mic muted. I'm gonna be getting my spot back to Achilles probably, so my vote's probably not very worthwhile.
I don't think do we have Achilles next week?
Next week? I thought he'd be back next week.
Is he?
How long is his cruise?
It's a cruise. It's longish. I thought we were losing him for 2 weeks. I really did.
Oh, he's well.
Yeah, I
I'll
thought
go
so.
either way. I'll go either way. I'm looking forward to D-Day, but I can also come back and do this. So I'm happy either way.
All right, we'll decide. Check it out during the week. We'll keep people in suspense. So if we do play next week, David, can you come back one last time?
I'll find out.
All right, because
I wasn't planning on it, but I don't think I have anything scheduled. So
Oh, you enjoy being with us.
we'll
Come
assume
on.
yes. We'll assume yes.
we're fine. All right, so I got the overwrite done. Yes, where's my overwrite? Just want to make sure. There it is. All right. Don't want to lose anything. All right. My goodness. Well, that was a lot. We did. Red made the comment that this is kind of like the old days of. Yes, Tom, you joined just in time for the end. But we had a great crowd. We did not ring the 20 bell, but we were busy the whole night long. So that's great. There are still. I think we're starting to get a really strong handle on the rules. At least I am. But there are still some fudgy things around the corners that I think we'll come up with if we head down into one more turn. So I very much would like to do that. So we shall see. We shall see. But nonetheless, thank you to everyone who watched. Thanks to everybody who played. Thanks very, very much to David for showing around and continuing his tutelage. This Wednesday, we will be having a Shaco game, the Battle of Gutstadt, which is a playtest pen game for our friend Michael Hopper. Please join us for that. And on Thursday, we are doing something for Mr. Wargaming. We're going to have a Dragon Rampant campaign game, the results of which will apparently affect his broader campaign. Orcs versus humans. Everyone care to guess what side Velker has chosen? I didn't think so.
I'm the dragon.
You're not the dragon, Mike. You are not the dragon. Although apparently
I'm
there
not
is a
Smog.
dragon that is rampant.
Ah.
But anyway, thank you all so much. Really do appreciate you. Gonna take another. Brant indicates you are awesome, David. So entirely well done there. And thanks again so very much,
I
everyone.
was pretty off my game tonight, so that's very kind.
And we will see you very soon. But in the meanwhile, please take care of yourselves and one another. Good night, Velker.
Good night.
Pause.
Very
Pause.
interesting game.